Hello, 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 and welcome back to the GTD podcast.
Yeah.
I'm the Norax. I speak for the podcast because I might as well keep it going. You know, it's great. Yeah, I also go by Aaron, but that's not really important. Today I have with me the do nothing duo of Matthew and Devin.
Jeez.
What?
It's the do nothing duo.
That's not true.
In terms of video gaming, you will agree with me.
Not vocally.
Yes, and I've also got
Matthew's been playing some things.
some things.
Well, actually, yeah, I did test something out other than Minecraft this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I know. I think I have an idea of what it might be. Yeah, introduce yourselves, you do nothing duo. Thank you.
Sorry. I'm Matthew.
Good.
Good to know. Good to know.
All right then. Yes, we have Matthew and Devin here today for the podcast. Whatever. And also we have Max, who's here.
Yes, I woke up half an hour ago. It's nothing. It's fine. Ignore me.
Nothing, it's fine.
You actually seem more awake than normal.
I mean, I actually slept for once, so yay.
That's a thing.
That's good. That explains why you seem more awake.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be awake after this, though.
What?
I have a lot to talk about.
Oh, good. Yes, as you may have noticed, if you care to watch this, there wasn't a podcast last week, which doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things, but there wasn't one. So to make up for that, we have several things coming up in the podcast today, such as what we've been playing this week and some many trailers, several trailers, to say the least. Several trailers. We will then be talking about whatever host topics we happen to have and the news as well. We have a bit of news. Some. Hopefully it's interesting enough. Well, it's less news and more a reading. It doesn't matter. And then the end of the show. Anyways, intros are hard to do. Matthew, let's roll right into the first section of our podcast, which is talking about what we played this week, which is, Matthew, what have you been playing this week?
Mostly Minecraft, but
really, that's a surprise.
I decided to see what Genshin Impact is like.
Yeah.
And I haven't got very far at all. Not even close. Not past the presumably tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't look bad so far.
Yes. Join me.
Max, I'm scared.
Yes.
Here's the thing. The game's fine. I'm not addicted. I'm not like addicted to it like a lot of other people are. It's just every now and then I'll boot it up. I'll play it for a couple days, but then like I'm not super deep into it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. I have to say. Like if you're not like addicted to it and like you don't burn through all of the content that's there already, and before they update it, then like it's fine. Just play it every once in a while. It's
so
a nice
instead, what I
casual
should
game.
do. Instead, what I should do is take every bit of money my family has and put it in. I'm kidding.
No,
of course.
That's not a good idea.
No, it's not.
I don't do that with video games anyway.
So you've been playing some Genshin Impact.
Very small amount.
I guess, what do you think of it so far, just on overall?
The graphics are actually really nice. I will only ever use the run because the walk is too slow.
Yeah, that is for sure. There's no reason to not run.
Yeah.
And sprint when I can because, oh my gosh, even the run is kind of slow comparatively.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
To other games. It's kind of impressive actually. The battle mechanics seem fine. I'm not super into that. I am so confused by the keybinds.
Yeah, the keybinds are pretty
I
interesting.
rekeyed the walk /
Well,
not walk so that I could switch between them if I ever wanted to.
yeah.
That
I mean, there's no reason to. I mean, I just use the basic keybinds.
yeah, I kept forgetting. So
yeah.
Hey, he wanted us to play other video games. He's playing other video games.
No, that's yeah, it is true. It gives you something to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing Genshin Impact is like really good for is like the character designs and all the character animations. So, which so far you might have just seen a few of them, but like as it goes on, you'll see like a lot more with a lot of the characters. And the main character that you play as, they can have different elemental abilities if you explore different parts of the world. So, like you start out with the wind, but then there's an area you can go to, and you can unlock like earth powers, where you can make a like container of rock in front of you, which is kind of interesting. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah. You know, it's Legend of Zelda, it's Breath of the Wild, but
yeah, it's Breath of the
Wild.
New
genre of game called Breath of the Wild, but it's something else.
Yeah.
In my case, it's Breath of the Wild with something that I will never use.
Right.
So basically, just Breath of the Wild, from what I've heard from you guys say.
Anime version.
Yeah. Well, no, Breath of the Wild is. No, the
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild, but with more anime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild, the anime years. Yeah, so that's all you've been doing, Matthew?
Mostly Minecraft though, but yeah, Bedwars.
All right. Okay, cool. Why don't we move on to Zevon? Zevon with a Z, because you're from the future of the 90s.
Interesting.
If you were in a 90s feature film that was about the futures, your name would be Zevon.
Okay.
Sure.
It would be. Z is the letter of the future, according to the 90s.
Okay.
It really is. Like, there are so many. It's probably just because Z is a weird letter to put in a name, especially at the first letter in a name, so it's considered future.
In the 90s,
I think
thought the future was pretty weird.
Yeah.
I think Q and X are stranger. Because they can make similar sounds and they're neat. I like using them in names sometimes.
I mean,
Q less because
they are. I mean, unless you're of Asian descent of any kind, it's Q and X are probably the least used letters in the alphabet.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So but that isn't important.
no.
Devin. Devin, what have you been playing this week?
Not that much, actually.
Yeah.
I think I did a little bit of Minecraft.
All right.
I helped Matthew gather some resources. He needed resources, so I got him 30 shulker boxes of resources, or 40, so many shulker boxes of resources.
I see.
And I don't know what I didn't actually mine them. I just moved them from my base. What else did I do? I think that's it. I've been. I did Bed Wars with my cousin and Max and Matthew. We make a great team.
Yeah, I did know about that.
That's a lot of fun. It makes Bed Wars really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go. I don't know. If Maya streamed that, you can go check it out.
Yeah.
If she saved it to her Twitch account, which she might have done.
I think I saved some of it, but our audio is all messed up, so I don't know if you can hear.
Yeah. So you can go check that out if you make it like it. But so that's what you've been doing?
I think so. Matthew, do you remember if I've been doing anything else? I can't remember.
Watching Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, but like in the past week,
but
I don't think
that's
not gaming related.
I know.
Been writing.
I don't think you've really done anything gaming.
Yeah.
This week for the most part.
We don't, it's fine.
Not D&D. That's not video games though.
I am a valuable member of this podcast.
Yep, I can tell.
Hey, you bring good arguments, man. You bring good arguments.
No, it's great. It really is great. The podcast would not be able to go anywhere without you.
Well,
We wouldn't even be able to start an episode.
At least these sections wouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's it though.
That is it.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Zaxby. The restaurant Zaxby's. Go.
Hey, that has a Z and an X.
I know. It's great.
Yeah, wow, cool. I'm so freaking edgy and lit, fam.
What?
I
Stop with that speak pattern.
it has to be Max again. I'm sorry. The Z is
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah. Okay. So, so I had a copy of Little Nightmares that was supposed to come in this past Monday.
Yeah,
But-
I saw you.
But if
tweeted
you
about
know-
that.
But it's shipping from Texas. And if you know the situation in Texas and how the
Oh,
weather has
God.
been, then
Good.
yeah, it got delayed. I still need to cancel the order and reorder it. But what I've been playing while waiting for that, I got into Apex Legends.
Yeah, I also saw you not to tweet.
I was
I
tweeting about that.
to Twitter.
Here's the thing. I've never been like very interested in the online gaming sphere at all. Like it wasn't until like you guys showed me Bed Wars. I'm like, okay, online gaming
Really?
could be fun. And so I saw some clips of Apex. I'm like, okay, Apex looks kind of fun. And I was somehow able to download it in one night. I started playing. I was like, I'm addicted to it now.
Well,
I've put in what, like 8 hours in 3 days. Probably more than that actually.
yeah.
It is an addiction, and like I've already been watching like so many YouTube videos on like how to get better at the game. I've been watching like so many streams to get tips and tricks.
Tips and tricks of how to be better at Zaxby.
I'm falling down a hole and I can't climb out, and I am, oh gosh. The one thing I can say is that hey, it's free. I don't have to spend a penny on it. Yay.
It's great.
But yeah, that's kind of all I've been doing this past week.
Yeah. I didn't want to interrupt you during the middle of your thing, but when you said I put 8 hours in the course of like 3 days, my first thought was, that's not very many.
Yeah, same.
Okay,
But
here's
that's
the
just
thing.
because, but like, you have a problem when, from my perspective, 8 hours of your existence over the course of 3 days is a small amount.
I need
Hours
double
is like
check.
half a day.
I need to double check. Give me a minute for that.
Like,
But
if
yeah,
you wake up at 6 a.m. at a consistent basis and go to sleep at about 8 to 9, that's about 15 hours, give or
Yeah.
take. 8 of those 15 hours is a lot of time for a day. The fact that I think 8 hours is not a lot of time to put into a game, even over the course of 3 days, is a problem.
well, the thing is, I only play in like my 2 to 3 hour break period during the day. But the fact that I've been playing it during that and not like doing something productive during that time is a lot for me. So yeah, I put in 10
I
hours.
mean, it's a break period.
4 days.
10 hours? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what, about 10 hours a day? Yeah, that sounds right. That math adds up.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of just been my one addiction this whole week. So
Yeah.
that's it.
So that's all you've been playing? Just Apex Legends? I personally haven't played it, and I just never, I don't know. Aside from the
Yep.
fact that I just don't have a computer strong enough to play Apex Legends, it just never super interested me.
And no, it wasn't super interesting to me either. Then I played it. I'm like, oh wait, there's like different classes. Each classes have their own abilities. There's a lot of like really fun mechanics. Like it's just a fun gameplay loop for
Yeah.
an FPS game. And like usually like for an FPS game, if it's a fun gameplay loop, I can play that for a while. But
TF2
there's
is
a lot of
the
variety in it too.
yeah. TF2 is my sort of like well of time if I play a multiplayer shooter because TF2 is just so much fun.
Yeah, it's a lot like TF2, but with like 3 times the amount of characters, probably, and in each character is a lot more unique.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. So that's all I've been playing.
That's all I've been playing.
All right. Then I shall move on to myself, like a individual. I don't know. Yes. What have I been playing? You might be curious about if you care. I've been playing lots and lots and lots of Breath of the Wild.
Yay!
I believe I told you. I mentioned it to you guys at some point that I bought the game recently because I had rented the game or gotten it off the library literally exactly a year and a month ago. Like, that's the last time I played it when I got it from the library, a year and a month ago. And I put 60 hours into the game during when I had it last.
Wait, you got 60 hours in like during like the 1 week you had it?
Wait, what?
From the library, I put 60 hours into it when I had it from the library.
Okay.
And in those 60 hours I had it from the library, I only beat one of the divine beasts. But yes, I bought it. It came in, all the cool stuff. I've been playing that a bunch because I really like Breath of the Wild. It's really, really fun to play through.
Yeah.
And do you want to guess how many hours I've put into it since having it?
Since having it?
Yeah.
I should play it.
100 hours, I'm gonna guess. Somewhere around there.
Well, you're technically correct. So I have, according to my thing, I have 90 hours on it now. So over the course of me having it, which has only been like maybe a week. No, probably more than a week, but I've only, because of I've only probably played it like a couple days in a row. Basically, I put 30 hours into the game over the course of probably like 4 days.
Okay.
Yeah,
sounds about right.
I still only have one divine beast that's beaten. It's just I don't even have the entire map explored.
Yeah. I've been able to play it for months and months. I think I've only beaten one of them.
Yeah.
When I played
have I beaten any of them?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think.
I'm checking to see how many hours I put into it because I got curious.
Yeah.
I know for a fact I've only put in 60 hours, and I think that was over the course of 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But I was playing that just about every day, and like that was kind of like the only thing I did. And yeah, like basically all I did was like I unlocked the entire map, I got all the divine beasts, and I played an extra 10 hours just exploring, and then I finished the game, and that was it. I was like, cool, I'm done. I'm the type of person who's like, just open up as much of the map as I can, and then just break through the story, and then that's it. Like that's all a game needs for me. Like I prefer linear story games, but like Breath of the Wild is probably
it's just
the best open world game I've played.
Yeah, it's a very fun world to explore.
Right.
Breath of the Wild is better than Minecraft?
No.
They're both open world games.
Technically.
I mean, in terms of design, I think Breath of the Wild is better. Minecraft is fun. Minecraft is more of a social game for me.
They're not worth
I can
like.
I know, because I wouldn't consider Minecraft to be like an open world RPG game.
No.
Yeah, Zelda.
I mean, they're very similar games.
No, they aren't.
Yeah, super similar.
Hey, after a certain point, you can fly in both of them, technically.
You fly like once in Breath of the Wild.
What? Well, never mind. But yes,
you can use the paraglider, and you can use an elytra.
Okay, that's not flying, it's gliding.
it's gliding.
Yeah, so you can glide in both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pointless conversation.
Don't think about the fact that I'm not saying
They're
anything
they're
important.
not worth comparing because they're fundamentally very different.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like comparing apples to oranges, for instance.
One's a citrus, one's not.
Like you're comparing things that shouldn't be compared. They're only
Yeah,
they're
it'd
only
be
the
like
same
saying-
because they are a video game.
It'd be like saying World of Warcraft is a linear story game when it's not. It's an MMO.
I mean, yeah,
I suppose. I
it
guess that's a
technically
bit.
has a linear story.
Yes, but it is not a linear. Like you would not think of it in that category.
No, you would not.
So
But yes, just to expound upon Breath of the Wild slightly, I've just been playing a bunch of that, and so I found a lot of Korok seeds. Like apparently there are like 900 or so in the game.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
I've already found over 100 of them. So I'm 10% there.
Have you been using them? Have you been spending them?
Yes.
Okay.
Mind you, I was well
Oh.
over 100 Korok seeds before I finally went to the forest and spent them.
Well, you can find him outside of the forest. Actually, there's like one area in the game where like he's just
After
standing
you
there.
find him there, he goes to the
Yeah.
forest. Which is
Yeah, yeah. After you find him there, he goes to the forest. My brother never found him. He's like, I have like, he was like, "Oh, what do I do with all these Korok seeds?" I'm like, wait, you beat the game, but you never like used the Korok seeds to get more inventory space.
He's literally on the side of the road as you go to Kakariko Village.
Yeah, I don't know why, but my brother never found him. So like he
Maybe
never
he
got
just
more
wasn't the
inventories.
true hero that could actually see him.
I mean, he beat the game, so I mean, I don't know.
Huh.
Whatever.
So I was able to connect my Switch to my internet
Mm-hmm.
finally.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was able to check how many hours I put in. I haven't played it in a while.
300.
No. Like 140 or more. And
Mm-hmm.
I waited for a long time before fighting Ganon
Yeah.
because I knew that once I beat him, I would lose interest in the game for a while.
After you beat Ganon, the game is over.
Yeah, but
Well, no, well, after you beat Ganon, the game like shows the ending, but it doesn't save. And so when you restart when you like continue
Yeah.
the game, it goes to
I mean,
before your
that's
last save
like-
before you defeat
That's
Ganon.
basically every game ever, though.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like you can't like explore the open world after Ganon's defeated or anything like that. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say.
like I purposely did many things before fighting Ganon, like
Mhm.
fighting all the towers, beating all the divine beasts,
Mm-hmm.
Doing all the stuff.
not getting all the Korok seeds. I had no interest in
Doing
that
all the
part.
stuff the game expects you to do before you go fight Ganon, even though you can just go fight Ganon and
And then
get the
You
paraglider.
unlock that hard mode area, right? The underground.
Oh, yeah,
temple
yeah,
where
yeah.
you spawn.
What?
There's like this weird super training temple under spawn.
it's the Master Sword DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh,
okay.
the DLC.
You
Oh, okay.
purchased the
It's
ability to
actually
do that
pretty.
then?
It's fun. It's just really challenging.
Yeah, I haven't gotten the DLC. I intend to someday.
Yes. Just been playing a lot of Breath of the Wild, and it's what's I was gonna say? It's interesting to me. I'm glad that my train of thought has just derailed itself because you know what? Who needs to think properly? Who needs to be able to run a podcast properly?
You
Right.
like how
I
similar it
certainly
is to Dark Souls.
It isn't similar to Dark Souls.
It's not.
It's
You have
closer to Dark
weapons
Souls
and a
than it is
shield.
What?
They both have a lock-on system.
Yeah, they both have a
By
lock
the
on.
by,
system.
Zelda invented the lock-on system.
Oh,
Like
Ocarina of Time had
Time
the lock-on
is the Z
system.
lock-on system. That's basically the first game that had a lock-on system of that type.
okay.
Dark Souls is fundamentally very different than Breath of the Wild and Zelda in a lot of aspects.
Sure.
One of them is not slow and steady, and the other is. How about that aspect for you? But yes, I really like Breath of the Wild, and I just really Breath of the Wild is a game that will very much exist for, or it will never age. Breath of the Wild will probably never age as a game.
Yeah.
Anyways, I thought I had more to say about Breath of the Wild, but my mind is just coming up.
I mean, what more can you say? Everyone
I
already
guess that
knows
is kind of the thing.
Wow.
Breath of the Wild came out like 3 years ago, so everybody's had their fair share to say on it, and I technically haven't even beaten the game. So how can I give it a proper runaround?
Yeah, but what I can't relate to with like everyone I've talked to who plays it, like people who put in over 60 hours and like haven't beaten the game.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I don't understand like how you can put in over 100 hours and not beat the game. Like there's someone I know. I don't think I've talked to him about it yet, but like I know that like he's put in over 100 hours into the game and hasn't gotten one divine beast.
Yeah.
What?
He's like he never got like one divine beast. He just I don't know what he does.
Well, to be fair, the divine beasts aren't required.
Yeah, no, they're not required, but like he's not. I don't think he's like beating the game or anything. So
Yeah.
like
I think it took me 70 or 80 hours to beat one of the divine beasts before I went there, because I think I remember being very confused about what I was doing, because it was the first not Minecraft open world game I'd ever played.
okay, I get that.
And I was like, okay, wait, where am I supposed to go? What?
Okay, I mean like, but the thing is, they tell you
I also-
okay, go to Ganon
also-
and defeat him, and then also you have
Yeah.
quest points, and you talk to
Yeah,
someone.
but the map was so big, and on my first playthrough, I accidentally turned off the mini map. So
To be fair, the minimap isn't super
was-
helpful.
I may have made it a bit harder for myself.
I will personally say I have the minimap on, but I don't use it for anything. It's not really worthwhile.
I also went after Divine Beast, the flying one. I don't remember what it's named at this point. The flying Divine Beast first. So
So that is probably the last one you should do, in my opinion.
it took me forever to beat.
The game
I spent
goes
so
in the
many
direction of
gold on
Varutov
bomb arrows.
first. Or sorry, not Varutov. The Zora one.
Yeah, the Zora.
I know.
Yeah, the Zora one is the first one I found, because literally like I was like, once you unlock one of the towers, there's like a little cutscene that plays where like a Zora comes out of the water. It's like, hey, come over here, and if you go that way, they lead you to the Zora divine beast.
Yeah,
and all
that's
that.
the one that
Yeah,
sort of points you in the direction of first.
Yeah,
Because
that's the one
every
I'm about.
Zora in like a 3-mile radius of where you need to go tells you to go there.
mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, I actually just headed straight towards the giant flying thing in the air because I was like, what is that?
Yeah. Well,
And that's why I went there. I made a beeline to it. I stepped over the tower.
well, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
What happens when I play open world games?
Yeah. Just been playing a lot of Breath of the Wild. And I guess that's all I have.
Have you gone to the have you been to that village where you're sneaking, or not village, the dungeon where you sneak around, and if you get spotted, then a whole bunch of super powerful enemies you can't kill show up and kill you in one hit?
Oh, the one in the desert, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I
Oh.
hated that section.
I actually really like that section.
I'm not there yet because
Yeah.
I haven't talked to the guard to get my quest to go get the hat. The not the hat. The hat that Naboris likes to wear. You know, the hat.
Yeah,
The sun crown
yeah.
that you have to get back before you can take on Von Naboris.
Okay.
So it's like, I figured, like, I went there. I went into the mountains and found that area. But I haven't done the quest. I haven't talked to the guard yet, so I haven't been told to go there. But I did go there and find the area. But yeah, I explore so much of the map.
I just thought of a challenge I could put for myself to replay it because I need a reason.
Don't ever use a horse.
No.
basically what I do.
I actually mostly walked places anyway.
I just don't. I only use a horse if I need to get to a certain location fast.
But so here could be my challenge. I get the Master Sword before I do any of the Divine Beasts or go to any of those areas.
I mean, that's entirely possible.
That's
Yeah,
really,
I know.
it's pretty easy to do.
You only
Oh, well,
need
sure.
like 10 hearts or something.
Yeah. No, you need 13, I think, in total. So 10 extra, yeah.
Something like that.
But
I don't know. But all right, you do that and see if you can beat the game before I do. Beat the game again
Wow.
before I do.
If I set my mind to it.
Probably could, because I have no idea how much longer I'm going to spend on this game. Anyways, moving swiftly onwards to our next section, unless somebody else has something they want to strictly talk about. I don't know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But trailer, that's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. So moving what?
I'm actually confused about something. Hold on, let me double check some stuff.
What?
So
What's confusing?
why if you look in the chat, did you just add the links?
What?
In Discord?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because on
What are you talking about?
The trailers are all here.
yeah, but it's added to the message that was sent on February 19th.
He edited it.
according to-
Yeah.
If you edit a
did
message,
that.
you add it to it.
That's fine.
Yeah, okay.
This is
I was
important.
just checking.
Why?
Yeah,
Why
I know.
did you interrupt me? Now the
Because I
viewers are
want to
bored
make
and they
sure.
left. Why did you do this?
Wait,
Why?
What did
why-
he say?
You
Now the
fool.
viewers are bored and they left us. Why? Why'd you? Anyways,
Wait, why would they leave because of that?
our first trailer of the day, because you were prattling on about something that was useless. Our first trailer of the day is for Neon White, the announcement trailer. I'm a dumbass. The announcement trailer for Neon White, which was a game that was shown during the Nintendo spotlight thing.
As above, so below. Why do they need assassins in heaven? To do someone's dirty work.
Oh yeah, this game.
It's kill or be killed. You won't last long if you can't rely on yourself. God's judgment has nothing to do with it.
And yes, that was the trailer for Neon White.
Yeah.
So this information, I guess, it's a week old. Like this was something that came out a week ago during the Nintendo Direct that was shown. But I showed it anyways because screw you, I wanted to.
That game looks sick.
I wanted to give some spotlight to it because obviously it's a very interesting concept. It's basically, I mean, it's like a shooter or like fast-paced game with all like cards.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole game system is based around cards that you have, which is interesting. I've seen like a basically collectible card game fighters before. They're always kind of interesting.
Right. This game actually looks really cool. Like I knew about the gameplay. I didn't know about the aesthetic, like the art style and all that. So like now I'm really interested in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I should. Well, the trailer itself came out a week ago during the Nintendo Direct, which you know, obviously
Mhm.
everybody in their kitchen sink has seen.
Except for me, but yeah.
Well, clearly you don't have
I
a
actually-
kitchen sink.
I actually didn't watch it either.
I
though.
watched a break. I just watched like a what was it, like a quick breakdown of a highlight reel of what
All
was
right.
in it, basically.
Whatever.
I'm a busy man.
I'm a busy man. But yeah, it looks fairly interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's coming out. It was just an announcement thing, so look forward to that for whenever it appears again. Matthew, Devin, anything to say in specific?
I don't have anything to say. It looks like a cool, smooth game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Our next trailer. This one has some precedence. It's something I sort of wanted to talk about last week, but there was no podcast last week. So, our next trailer is for the Diablo 2 Resurrection. The announcement trailer for Diablo 2 Resurrection, rather.
How was it not useful as a wanderer? Now you know what I seek, Marius. Were these the demons from... Don't do it! It seems what... I'm not exempt. Look what they've done to me. Arise, Diablo, Lord of Terror. Though this be our darkest hour, it may yet be your greatest moment.
And that was the trailer for Diablo 2 Resurrected. Now, I know none of you care about Diablo or have played it or probably know what it is, but this trailer is important.
D&D.
What?
Looks like D&D.
I know what it is. I've heard of it.
Diablo, so just to give a Diablo series is a, what's the term? It's like it's a dungeon crawler. You crawl around dungeons and attack people, and you get loot and stuff. And it's a dungeon crawler. It's from a bygone era of game design.
Right.
Games like this aren't really made anymore. But the main important thing about this trailer, or at least this game, is that remember about 3 or so weeks ago now, we covered that Vicarious Visions was dissolved as a company and put to work as staff members at part of Blizzard.
Right.
Right?
Mhm.
So apparently this is what that 200 plus staff members have been working on. They were put to work developing this. So all of Vicarious Division's development teams have been working on this, Diablo 2 Resurrected.
Wait, in just the past,
that's apparently what's been happening.
just for the past month?
I mean, not the past month, but that's what, I don't know. Like, they probably had this in development as well, but apparently this is what they've been working on.
Interesting.
They were put as staff and development team. They were put on the development team for Diablo 2 Resurrected. So at least we know that Vicarious Visions talent isn't exactly going to waste, but I mean, I'm sure there's definitely a big market for this. Like, Blizzard as a company is very successful, and a lot of people really like them.
Yeah.
There's definitely a very large market of people that will buy this, but you know, I mean, I don't know. I've had some interest in the Diablo series before, but I don't know.
I don't know. All of Blizzard's games, just everything. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of everything around them, especially the. Yeah, I don't know.
Max, I can tell that you're the biggest fan of Blizzard.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I'm
great.
not a big fan of Blizzard either.
Okay, here's the thing.
From
Everyone.
that sentence mostly.
I don't know. I'm just not a fan of how they do things, and especially the fan base around their games. Like it's
Casual.
they're not casual. They're like, oh wow, like Overwatch is the best game ever. I look at Overwatch and I'm like, that is not very good.
They are exclusively PC developers, pretty much. Like all of their games pretty much exclusively released on PC as well. This game is obviously coming. Diablo is obviously coming to consoles. It said so in the announcement trailer. But you know, I mean, other Diablo games have come to console as well.
I mean, hey, people will like it.
Yeah, I mean, like it's
You like what you like. That's fine.
I personally don't have too much investment in this. I mainly put it there because it's important to news. You know, it's important for the news aspect and the updates about an entire studio being dissolved to be put to work with Blizzard. You know,
Right.
But Max, if their opinion and view is different than yours, then they're wrong.
exactly.
No.
No, that's how that works. If
Exactly
someone
how
doesn't
it
agree with you, then they're wrong.
Oh my gosh. Everyone can have their own opinion, okay? I don't care. I have my opinions.
Yes, and I'm clear.
No.
I was joking.
Claims it
Great.
was the best game, then they are wrong.
Yeah. But anyways, moving swiftly onward, unless you guys have anything else to discuss, or just going on to the next trailer.
Tetris.
I'm good.
Tetris.
I love Tetris.
I listened to that song the other day, and so now I have it stuck in my head.
I see. All right then. Okay, so
This is your fault.
it is not my fault. Just because I happened to mention it to you doesn't mean it's my fault you decided to watch it.
Okay.
Anyways, moving on to our next trailer. Now, this is part of two trailers we have this week for a double whammy of games that are incredibly inspired by old series that haven't gotten games in well over 20 years.
Ooh.
So, whoops. Forgot to share the screen before I did something. So, our first trailer is for Taxi Chaos, the launch trailer.
Rated everyone 10 and up. Hey, taxi! I'm late for the movies. To the cinema, please.
Let's get this bread.
Thanks for the lift.
Glad to make it in one piece.
Over here. Big pump, por favor.
Now that's a cut.
Is there no speed limit in the city?
Watch out!
Here we go!
And that was the trailer for Taxi Chaos, which is obviously available now. It was available like 5 days ago, but whatever.
Worst taxi driver ever.
That's the genre.
What happened to our people?
I can tell, but
Where did
still.
Devin go?
I'll be right back.
All right then. But yes, that was the trailer for Taxi Chaos. Now, I'm unsure if any of you know what this game is inspired by.
It's inspired by Crazy Taxi.
Exactly. So much
Yeah.
inspired by it that I might as well just be part of the Crazy Taxi series. They even used the word crazy in the trailer. Meet crazy passengers, as it said. Yes,
It looks fun.
Yeah.
Uh,
yeah, for those of you who don't know, i.e. Matthew, Crazy Taxi is an old Sega series. Pretty sure it was by Sega. Yeah, it's by Sega. Where you drive a lot of it originated in arcades. You drive a taxi around a city, picking up passengers and getting to them to their new destinations.
Right.
That's basically the entire concept of the game, but it's crazy, it's Crazy Taxi.
It's crazy. You flip around and stuff like that.
There are
It's
some fun physics. There's weird stuff going on. Yeah, it's also supposed to have like a sense of humor and comedy. Anyways, talking too fast.
That's cool.
Yes. What was immediately forgot what the name of the game was. That was I'm a dummy. I'm a big dumb dummy. Taxi Chaos. So yes, that was Taxi Chaos. So obviously, heavily inspired by Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
All right. It's fine. Yeah, I mean, Crazy Taxi hasn't gotten a new game in well over 15 years at the very least.
Right.
So, I'm sure it's due. It's due for another game like this.
Yeah, I mean, it looks fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. Or is, because it's already out. And you can go check it out on your local PlayStation.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to have to keep moving forward without Devin, unless I cannot. I mean, whatever.
I mean, you could ramble for the next 10 minutes.
Ramble. I'm funny.
I'll talk about Apex for an hour. It's fine.
No, I refuse.
No, that's your host topic, Max. Just talking about Apex.
No.
Anyways. Where was it? Fuck me. Anyways. Sorry.
We're cool.
Oh my god. What is going on? Why can't I talk? So, what I was saying before about the double whammy of trailers, this is the next trailer in that list. So this is the this is the trailer for Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. And that was the trailer for Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Now, like I did last time, can you guess what this game is inspired by?
Is it inspired by Sonic?
No.
No? Okay.
It's another old Sega series that has not gotten a sequel in well over 20 years. Or at the very least 15.
Street Skater?
Oh my god. I had it in my mind. Why did it leave? Hold on a second. Jet Set Radio.
Oh, Jet Set Radio. Okay.
Yes. So it's a game. It's basically just another Jet Set Radio game, just from the gameplay by the looks of things, which is cool. Jet Set Radio is a fun game series. Just to explain, Jet Set Radio, old Sega series where you played in this weird future as essentially what would be considered a punk, and you go around tagging places with spray paint, and it had a really good soundtrack. Yeah, unfortunately for this series, both of the games came out on kind of failing systems at the time. So the first game came out on the Sega Dreamcast. We all know how that ended.
Yeah.
Approximately 3 years of very poor, it's the thing that ended Sega as a runner in the console wars.
Yep.
And then the second game was an Xbox. I believe Xbox or Xbox 360 exclusive, but I think it came out sort of in its late run, so it wasn't like super successful. Also, a lot of people didn't really like it that as much as the original. So yeah. But yeah, speaking of Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, I'm sorry I misread the title. It's Cyberfunk, not Cyberpunk. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk is the name of the game. It's coming out in 2022, so you're gonna have to wait a while for this very stylish looking game.
Yeah, it looks like it could be fun.
Yeah, looks good. Looks fun. Oh, damn it. What do you, Matthew and Devin, think?
Looks fun.
Eh.
I
That's
think
your
the
reaction
taxi
to a
game
video
thing seems like it'd be more fun because you'd be able to, like, I don't know, maneuver around, learning the town map and figuring it. I think that could be fun if it was done right.
Yeah, purposely follow the traffic lines.
You could do that too, I guess.
This game
Choose
looks
your own
cool,
play
though.
style.
Yeah. Yeah, once again, that was the trailer for Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. That was the second time I messed up. Whatever. But moving swiftly on to our next trailer of the day. I know, more than 3 trailers, which is the usual. It's crazy. So the next thing we have is less of a it's not called a trailer. It's called an opening movie. But I'm not sure what that implies for this trailer, but we'll see as it pans out. So
It's probably the opening cinematic. But
no, it's not. So
Oh.
this is the NieR Replicant version 1.22474487139 official opening movie or trailer, whatever you want to call it.
You can save Yona, Vice.
It's you, isn't it?
No! Stay back! Anyway, take it easy, yeah?
Is this beast a shade as well?
No! You've got to stop this!
Two hope to stand against the Shadow Lord.
I don't want to hurt my friends!
Kill him, you glorious bastard! I have a reason to live!
the same. Tools in the hands of a master.
This ends here.
Kaine!
Our true memories are still there. How dare you ignore them?
We were hoping to put it off for 100 years or so.
I shall fight by their side, now and forever.
I'm tired of this world and everybody in it. But I'll become his sword one last time.
No! Kaine!
I'm going to save you. I swear it.
Thanks for always being there for me.
And that was the trailer for NieR Replicant, the number I said at the start.
Yeah.
Coming out March 23rd. So, at least Max will know about the NieR series.
I know of it. I've never actually played any of the games myself, and I don't know a whole lot, but like I am so into it.
So, you might be thinking, is this a sequel to NieR Automata? No. Maybe. Sort of?
I believe what it is that it's the first game in the NieR series.
There was a game before NieR Automata, which is the game that everybody knows about, called NieR, which not a lot of people knew about because it was kind of an underground success that didn't get a lot of attention.
And it also wasn't released outside of Japan, I don't think.
It was.
It was?
It was. You can get NieR. Like
right. Okay, yeah.
So NieR Automata was a kind of sequel to NieR, but didn't really have anything to do with it, apparently. Anyways, this game, NieR Replicant, is supposedly a remake of NieR, the original game, but I don't know how true that statement is.
No, I believe there were between NieR and NieR Automata, there was another game that only released in Japan and didn't do so well. But
yeah,
because of like it was kind of broken, and so it never got a release outside of Japan. But this is a remake of that game, but with a whole lot of added content to add more to the story of the NieR series. I believe. Don't quote me on that.
I've been sort of following this, but I didn't know about the whole background thing before, like a few like a day ago.
There's a lot.
Yes, NieR Replicant version 1.22474487139.
Yeah,
that was the trailer / opening.
Movie
is what they want to call it. You know, yeah. Right. What's the dealio?
I have no idea what's going on, but I love Yoko Taro's aesthetic so much. I need to play the games at some point.
Yeah.
Devin, you're muted. I had a couple of hot takes, but none of them were very sophisticated.
What were they?
Like, I mean, too edgy.
Well, no, I was gonna say it looks kind of like Metal Gear plus Breath of the Wild plus Resident Evil.
Just combine all of the games. It's fine.
I mean, that's not a bad observation, honestly.
It's like NieR in itself is kind of a weird game series because it's like a hack and slash bullet hell
open world RPG
kind of open world thing with a crazy sort of like story thing.
Yeah, they're designed
all
very
of the games
weird.
have like a lot of endings as well.
Yeah, like NieR
cool.
Automata, like once you beat the game one time, you need to start a new game, and then it'll start like a completely different storyline. And then once you finish, then technically you've beaten the game again. They need to beat it like 2 more times with different storylines that take place in different times.
Cool.
Yeah. But it doesn't give you like any hint of that or anything. It's like you just need to start a new game.
Mm-hmm.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah, NieR is this interesting series that has a lot of strange. It functions and it works together well, but it's very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything?
They need to put pants on.
I mean, yeah, that is true.
It doesn't hurt the aesthetics. They just need to put pants on. It's
Yeah, no, that's a complaint I've seen a lot.
From who?
No, just like the main thing with like people who play who aren't really like who start near Tom's. They're like, yeah, I like the game. It's just that the main character's not wearing pants. It's really distracting.
Why is it distracting?
Come on, man. Don't make me spell it out for you. Anyway,
That's
Matthew,
okay.
what do you think?
Maybe it would be distracting if I was a constant horn dog.
So Matthew, what did you think of the game where people weren't wearing pants?
I think I might have said my statement slightly wrong.
A bit.
Aaron doesn't think it's a problem.
Not
I
really.
thought,
Just
meh.
aesthetic.
Just meh.
Did
Yeah.
you just shrug?
Yeah.
Okay. It looked scary. It looked like a scary game.
Yeah, it's like the really
Very
it's got
psychological, or at least NieR Automata is.
yeah. Very like psychological, but with a lot of fun gameplay. I don't know.
Okay.
It looks cool, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But that, I'm just a weeb, so don't listen to me.
Why are you complaining about the TNA then?
The what?
Mhm.
It's whatever. Yes. So that was NieR Replicant, the big number. I'm not going to say it a third time. I've already said it twice. So any final thoughts on that before we move on to our final trailer of the day?
No.
All right. So, our final trailer of the day is quite special because it might actually spark a conversation out of you two.
Oh, I have much to say.
Yes.
I'm talking about Matthew and Devin.
Yeah, I
Oh.
know.
So this, you might have seen it. There was a special event that went on yesterday for Pokemon Day. It had a very special trailer in it for a very special game, specifically Pokemon Legends Arceus.
This is a tale from a long, long time ago, when the Sinnoh region was still only a vast wilderness. A certain village bustled with the comings and goings of people, while in the mountains and seas, Pokemon roamed as they pleased.
And that was the trailer for Arceus, what was Pokemon Legends Arceus rather, which was shown in the Pokemon Presents 25th anniversary presentation yesterday.
Congratulations, Game Freak! You finally updated your game engine. Cool.
So just to quickly say, it's coming early 2022. We don't have an exact date, but we know it's early 2022. So that could be like anywhere within like the 3 months of 2022, probably, if it's early 2022. But speaking of the game itself, obviously, this is a completely open world Pokemon game. And speaking of the aesthetics, it is set in feudal Sinnoh. So just you two probably didn't watch the Pokemon presentation, unless you did, in which case
I watched a live stream of someone watching the presentation as they were watching
it. Then that means you also know that Pokemon Diamond and Pearl are being remade for the Switch as well. So that's a side point. This is what I wanted to talk about.
So I'll let you guys speak first. I'll give my points at the end.
So I've seen many people say it's like Breath of the Wild, which, you know, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I'll just go.
Every open world game is going to be compared to Breath of the Wild for a while.
I will look up some minor points. So in the trailer, there's obviously a lot of people from the trailer have complained and noted of certain things. Obviously, there's a lot of excitement for this because of its difference from every other Pokemon game in the series.
It adds rolling.
Why can you roll, though?
I don't know.
That's a very exciting question to find out.
Yeah. Hopefully there's actually a reason more than just because.
Maybe it will add dynamic Pokemon movement, so you have Wingles that fly like this.
What?
I love it when that happens.
This is how birds fly.
I love it when that happens. But yes. Just in terms of Pokemon, I have not played every Pokemon game in the series. None of you probably have. That's probably a very not special fan, but like, you know, I'm not one to buy every game in the series, and I haven't played every game in the series. However, I have played enough Pokemon games to know its formula and understand where it evolved over the course of its series. This being the biggest difference to every Pokemon game. Open world. I guess Devin or Matthew, do you want to say anything before? Or
I have some questions.
All right.
I'm curious how you guys think they ended up doing the level, like the enemy level system. So like, is it the farther away you go, the more powerful the enemies get? Is it?
I don't know how they're planning on doing that.
Probably more dynamic.
The higher level your Pokemon are, the higher level the enemies are.
I mean, if you're gonna do something like that, that's not a bad way of doing it. That way, everywhere you go is equally as it's constantly always as difficult as it's going to be. So being, you know, a dynamic approach is probably the best. Well, it's not the best, but it's the how do I say this? It's one of the better approaches they could take to a completely open world RPG.
Yeah.
So obviously, the other thing, I've seen a lot of complaints about this trailer in regards to the frame rate and texture.
Yeah.
Now, the frame rate itself, obviously, this is not the final build. They have more than a year to finish it off. We don't know how long it's been in development for otherwise. Now, This is all by Game Freak. Like all of their resources are being pulled into this. Obviously. The low frame rate and some of the jittery Pokemon and also the textures. Now, I played Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild just this morning, so I have an even better understanding. Texture-wise, it's only slightly behind Breath of the Wild in terms of textures. The only difference is that Breath of the Wild has more bloom and a cell shaded art style. This game does not. So you notice the textures more. The second thing is the frame rate. Obviously, I just have bad eyes. The frame rate is semi-noticeable, but it probably doesn't go below 10 frames.
It's very noticeable for me.
Yeah, it's pretty noticeable.
I have
like
bad
I saw that.
eyes.
Like I saw that in the trailer. I'm like, geez.
Yeah.
It's when I looked at I decided to double check the presents too, just to see if there's another area of open world instance. And beside the fact that I'm gonna be optimistic here and hope that it's just early development.
I mean, it clearly is. Like it really says in the bottom, this is the final gameplay footage.
Yeah.
They say that about games coming out in
from what I can
usually.
see.
This game is coming out in early
seem to
2020.
drop below.
They have more than a year. Listen, I know you're all
The
hopped up on your
FPS
hate for Pokemon.
The FPS doesn't look like it drops below 30 on like my computer screen when I'm watching it.
Well, I don't know
in
how
any
that
of the
works for you
instances.
guys personally, because I was screen sharing, but it probably
on the share it looks worse.
It definitely looks worse when screen sharing. I will say that.
That's why I didn't care about the FPS. Like the FPS wasn't the textures were the bigger thing that I was like, the textures look a little bit clunky, but obviously that's not a big deal for me.
For me, I say the textures look fine. It's the FPS that bothers me. Because if you look at Sword and Shield, it's a huge difference between Sword and Shield. They actually, attempted something here.
The trees.
Now, I know there's a lot of fan hate for Game Freak, especially after Sword and Shield. Now, in Game Freak's defense, they had probably about a year to work on Sword and Shield.
And they are still a pretty small studio.
And they might have been developing this at the same time as Sword and Shield, now that we know about it.
And they were also developing Little Town Heroes. Most of their crew was developing Little Town Heroes.
Little Town Heroes, which is a game that nobody cared about. Even though I thought it looked pretty interesting. But the main thing with Pokemon over the last, I guess, about 5 years now, is that we've been getting Pokemon games annually. So they've only had really only a year to come up with a new game for the past 5 years.
And this time they were able to skip a year.
Well, because they had the DLC for Sword and Shield.
Yeah, they have that. That's coming out. But obviously, now we know that they're working on Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is the main thing that all their development stuff is going to. And just as a thing, Shining Diamond
Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Thank you. Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl are being developed by Ilka, who are the guys behind Pokemon Home, is it called? Pokemon Home, and it's being headed by
Masuda.
Yeah, Masuda, the original director of the Pearl and
Diamond and Pearl.
Diamond and Pearl. So Game Freak doesn't have to worry about that at all.
Yeah.
Devin, Matthew, what do you? Yes.
The fact that Game Freak can fully focus on it gives me more hope for it.
Yeah.
Because now I'm still probably gonna play the Diamond and Pearl remakes anyway. I I can't play the smaller one barely. The older one. I can sort of.
I just
But
hope these
the
remakes
movement-
aren't $60.
Yeah,
They're
hopefully.
going to be.
Because if they
Yeah.
are, then I'm jeez.
They're going to
80
be.
bucks. Max, they'll be 80 bucks.
Max, I'd
They're
like
gonna be
to point out
120
that
bucks.
These Diamond and Pearl are 15 years old.
Yeah.
They came out
Okay.
on the DS. They're going to be $60. That's just the
Mm.
way it works.
Well, hopefully they're only like
I don't-
40.
What if they
Well,
only sell them
As remakes
together?
of Pokemon games, they might be a little lower, but Nintendo has a habit of making a lot of games $60.
Mhm.
They might make it so they're only buyable together, so you have to buy both of them.
Well, that's the thing. Actually, I
That
guess
would be
I will
horrible.
take-
That would be the worst.
You have
I
to
will
buy the
take a
same game
slight
twice.
aside. It actually wouldn't. Well, if they I will take a slight aside and say we don't know a lot about Diamond and Pearl remakes yet. We've seen the trailer for it, so we know they're happening, and we've seen the art style they've chosen, which is a chibi, which is it's the art style the Pokemon games have had for literally ever. It's
Yeah,
just
I don't mind that.
like it's all chibi and cute. Which I've seen a lot of people sort of get iffy on, but I personally don't mind it.
The art style doesn't bother me. It's the quality.
Yeah, yeah,
It looks so
yeah,
basic.
definitely. I noticed that.
If you compare it to, I mean, let's say Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening had a chibi art style,
Yeah.
but had so much like depth of field effects and stuff like that, and there's so much movement and
Well,
everything. This game is
I guess.
looks like it was made like very easily in Unity. It
Maybe hopefully
even
they're just
Unity.
in
that's
really
what-
early development and
no, I
still
highly
working on
doubt
all
that.
of that.
I highly doubt that.
I'm just gonna be optimistic here.
outside
Max.
of the art style, I just want to say, so in the original Pearl on the DS, there were only 2 fire types in the entire game. That
Oh,
you could
yeah.
catch on Pearl.
Really?
Yes, it was Ponyta and Chimchar. Those were
Yeah.
only 2 fire types in Pearl originally. All of the fire types were in Platinum for some reason. Like, I don't know why that was the case. Like, there's usually sort of a slight there's usually like Pokemon you can only catch in either game. It's just for some reason in Pearl there was only 2 fire types in total.
That's
That might have changed. There's a lot of stuff they could change and add to. There's a lot of extra content that is strictly like special stuff, like the Darkrai, and I believe like there's a lot of stuff they can get back now.
Mhm.
There's a special Darkrai event where you could catch a Darkrai. Like,
Do you
Pokemon
think-
has had a lot of special events over the years, but
Do you think they'll keep it the void glitch?
I don't know. Probably.
Like they'll work that into the game? That would be awesome. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, Devin. You have thoughts?
I'm devil's advocate. I'm thinking this is everyone's like so excited, like wow, finally the Pokemon game we've been wanting forever. Hey, it's been 10 years that they could have done this 10 years ago.
I'm just choosing
technology
to be
we've
more
had.
optimistic about it.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I'm so sick and tired of Pokemon. Okay, like
If you want to know,
Game.
inward, my thoughts are actually extremely pessimistic.
I am extremely pessimistic. I'm done. I am like done with Pokemon at this point. They're
How many
like
games have you played?
I played
I'm
Pokemon
just
Y, Pokemon
choosing
Pearl, and Pokemon
to hope.
Shield.
All right then.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay,
choosing
and I've
to
seen
hope.
and I know
Life
stuff
of
about the
games in
Pokemon
the
games. Okay,
series.
it's just
Ironically, Max, all of through those games are probably the most divisive of the Pokemon series.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
okay. Well,
Good
here's
job.
the thing. I know how. Like, I'm going by those games. I know how the games are. I'm sure other games like Black and White are probably of better
Yeah.
quality. But the thing is, the base mechanics of the game, they haven't updated it since the original.
play
They
Pokemon
haven't
Ruby.
added anything, any like
Technically-
new mechanics or
sorry,
anything.
Technically, they have.
No, I'm talking about the
very
main battle
small
system.
ways.
The main battle
Yeah.
system is still the same.
Mm,
They haven't really
yes.
done anything to enhance it, really. Because if we look at like modern day JRPGs with battle mechanics, look at Persona 5 with like how much strategy you have to put into that. Like some battles take an hour because of how much strategy you have to put in with just a simple turn-based combat.
I don't want a battle to take an hour.
Those are mainly the boss battles that like take an hour, because those are like big, really big fights. But then like, but when you look at Pokemon, it's still the same thing where it's like just do the one that does the most damage over and over again, and you'll win.
Why
I don't mind that.
Sun and Moon are
There's no depth. It's literally the depth has been decreasing over the years. Pokemon Shield literally.
Hold your anger for a second so Devin can talk.
All of those games are probably the easiest Pokemon games. Like, it got easier and easier and easier.
Yes, you are correct.
Because they simplified the gameplay a lot.
Well, they never simplified it. They just made it easier. Like, there's technically...
No, they've simplified it. They have simplified it.
There's nothing simpler about Sun compared to Red.
Yes.
Pokemon Red and Pokemon Sun are fundamentally very similar, but they exist on the same plane as far as combat is.
No, I'm talking about the main combat mechanics. There's nothing I guess they haven't
updated those in years.
They just haven't brought anything new.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
The gameplay was always simple and always technically easy.
But they haven't brought anything new. It's been 20 years and they haven't done anything new. They've tried.
Yeah.
I mean,
every Pokemon game, there's always a new, like, random mechanic.
Yeah, a mechanic that doesn't make sense most of the time.
You know, it's like
Mega Evolution.
The game.
Mega Evolution was okay, but then Sword and Shield with the Gigantamax or whatever it's freaking called.
That was
That was so dumb. They literally took everything away from the Pokemon moves that actually made each move unique and just said, "Hey,
but
which attack hits harder?"
I think Z moves in Sun and Moon.
Z moves were interesting.
I didn't play Sun and Moon, so I don't know.
If you play one of those, skip to Ultra.
Okay, so just on like a thing, Sun and Moon are probably the best overall Pokemon game experiences, period.
I would say that Ultra Sun and Moon are a lot better.
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Guys,
bad.
Guys, the best Pokemon experiences are the old original games.
No, they aren't. You are objectively wrong.
I am right.
No.
I am.
I feel like this is extremely opinionated.
The graphics are bad.
Based on how we each play the game.
For the time, because the original Pokemon games came, the original generation of Pokemon came out. They were good.
Yeah.
I want to say something.
They're still good.
This whole thing about like which one's best is opinion.
Yeah, it is opinion. I'm not saying which one's best.
Okay, ready?
Personally,
I'm gonna use.
Hold on.
Use sales.
Personally,
look at sales numbers.
Personally, yes. That like you made my trail of thought go off.
Look at objective numbers, like what people who play the game reviewed it as.
Okay, I'm just upset. Okay.
No,
in regards, I'm gonna go back to Ultra Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield specifically. In Ultra Sun and Moon, I found it actually more difficult than Sun and Moon. Not by too much, but more difficult. And I enjoyed it more.
Because they fixed the game that had problems.
There was also that one battle that the boss enemy was just too powerful and was able to go ahead and one-shot every party member I had, and I was under-leveled, I think. And it was dumb. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Did I freeze?
No. No one's just moving.
Okay. That's like, I would personally recommend, well, like I liked the battle overall. I just didn't like losing. Now, I don't think my team was optimized, but I don't usually go for optimized teams either, which is part of the reason that for me, Sword and Shield, if I hadn't used my main starter a lot, I would have had a harder time. Also, if I hadn't used the level candies.
I don't know if that's how.
Because of my play style. Okay. I don't go optimally ever.
Neither do I. But in Sun and Moon, I was able to just one-shot almost every single fight.
Sun and Moon?
Yeah.
No. Sword and Shield. But
Oh yeah. In Sword
Yeah,
and Shield, I was able
feel
to.
bad.
In Sword and
Is
Shield,
it-
I
is
was
it
able to
badly
one-shot
designed?
most fights.
Yeah.
which is bad. That shouldn't be how it is.
Now, for me, I noticed
you're
that
correct,
the
but
reason I was able to one-shot them was because, one, the starter is objectively overpowered. I think. And two, the level up candies make the game way too easy.
Hmm.
Going
and I
back to
used-
what you said about Sun and Moon, you're saying that like there was a boss that could just one shot everything.
Yes, but that might have mostly been because of my party makeup. And I used a specific Pokemon to nullify the attacks because it tricked the typing.
Okay.
And that way it would only use
All right,
attacks that I was
so-
immune to. Because it thought I was a different type.
I
In
just think the
terms-
battle system needs to be updated.
Eh.
Like
All right, so
I don't think
yeah,
it's supposed to be a particularly
I have
challenging
some
game
numbers for you. In terms of units sold,
for people who are like
in terms of units sold,
RA.
Red and Blue have sold more overall, but they're much older.
The older one sold more games.
In total, Pokemon Red and Blue has sold 3.1.37 million units.
Wow.
Pokemon and Sun and Moon have sold 16.18 million units.
That's a
So
lot
that
more.
is a disparaging amount, but Pokemon Red and Blue are actually 25 years old today.
Mm-hmm.
Because
And Pokemon wasn't as well known back then.
that was
it blew up the fucking world. Pokemon is an international phenomenon.
It's the
not a
biggest
game
selling
series
franchise in the
anymore. It is a
entire world.
phenomenon.
yeah.
Anyways, in terms of game rankings or ratings or whatever you want to say, same amount. Pokemon Sun and Moon, 80%. Pokemon Red and Blue, 80%. 88%. Rather.
Oh,
88% for both of them. I have those are some numbers for you. Also just a Metacritic score as well. Metacritic didn't exist to give Pokemon Red and Blue a rating, but they gave it an 87 out of 100 Metacritic. You shouldn't trust Metacritic anyways. But anyways, those are some numbers for you for Pokemon.
yeah. The old Pokemon games sold about 10 million more, and that was before the games were well known.
They sold less.
There's a difference.
I know. I think the old games are just better. They're better made as
Pokemon-
games.
What are you
Yeah,
guys
because
looking
for
at?
the time they came out, then yeah, it was very different. But now,
Or-
literally, games have evolved a lot more, and Pokemon is still doing the
Pokemon
same
is
thing they did
still a very
in the
large
90s.
phenomenon.
Yeah.
But I don't think you understand how massive a phenomenon it was when the games came out.
No, it was
It was
huge.
everywhere. It was so stupendously successful. Books, movies, anime, fucking toys, media, everything. It exploded so hard.
Yeah.
Obviously, 25 years later, Pokemon is still a national phenomenon, but not as big as it was back then. And that has nothing to do with the games themselves. Design-wise, in actual design-wise, fundamentally, Red and Blue are worse than Sun and Moon because they are not fundamentally designed better. There's just talking about design itself, there are way more glitches that exist and will always exist in the
That's not. I am literally talking about strictly game design, how hard they are compared to how easy they are, like how much strategy you have to use to actually play. I feel like the older games have the older games actually
Yeah, it
challenge the
hasn't
player.
it hasn't changed, which is my main complaint.
Pokemon
No,
Red and
I think
Blue.
the older games actually challenge the player.
I mean,
Probably.
Ruby and
Yours
Sapphire
can
were fun
survive.
games.
Hmm.
So was Emerald.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Okay. Here's
Just
my
play
main
those,
complaint.
Max.
The Pokemon company thinks they can win everyone over with Pokemon Snap, which for some reason
Also,
people
Pokemon
are still excited for.
People,
Also,
for
there's
some
different-
reason,
I
really
also
like the
like
first
Snap.
Pokemon Snap. So,
Like,
sorry, what?
New Pokemon.
we have had 3D games
Yeah.
for the past 20 years. There's been the technology to make a good Pokemon 3D game for the past 20 years. And they haven't yet.
People have wanted a new Pokemon Snap for like ever.
Yeah, but all you do is look at Pokemon in a 3D space.
Well, that's not for you to judge whether or not that's a good thing.
It's not a game at that point.
It is a game.
I mean,
You take pictures of Pokemon.
There's no interaction. All you do is look. There's you can throw an apple, I guess,
Plenty
but
of interaction.
there's not. No,
Yeah, like what's
the way games work is that there are mechanics. There are reactions to the player's actions. Pokemon Snap is literally you look at something, you push a button, and that's it. You get rewarded for pushing a button.
I don't understand it either, Max. Don't worry.
There is no depth to that.
All right.
It's not like Bug Snacks where you not only just take pictures of things, but you interact and you talk with these creatures and you can give them items, which then affects the gameplay. It's like there is nothing.
Or you can take
Pokemon
a
Snap
knife.
that is appealing other than looking at Pokemon, which they could do in any other game if they actually, made the games visually appealing in the first place. But no, they don't. They
For some
instead
reason, people
decide to
want
crunch it
Snap.
all and have it planned out with the card game releases and show releases and all that, instead of having each team put in a lot, giving each team a lot more time
Yeah.
to actually make something good rather than something mediocre. But just, hey, it's the aesthetic, it's the word Pokemon, it'll sell.
Hey, Max, maybe starting a
I want
petition will do
quality.
something.
I want more quality from bigger companies.
All right. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Pokemon has torn us apart.
Oh no, I have some words for Nintendo itself.
We're tearing you apart. Pokemon. Anyways.
They could add a knife mechanic into Pokemon Snap.
You throw apples at the Pokemon.
No,
Yeah,
you throw
you
knives.
throw apples and you take pictures. That's it.
That way it can be rated
T.
Yes.
All right.
Sorry, I don't know game ratings.
Uh,
That would make sense. That would be a good business choice for them.
fucking. What was I gonna say?
Came off of Legends Arceus.
Pokemon is a series where you evolve Pokemon, but the games never evolve.
So okay, so
That's what I'm saying.
so
Also,
that
it's not really
was-
evolution.
Remember
Or
30 minutes
metamorphosis.
ago when we watched a trailer for a game? That was the trailer for the game. So that was the last
What are you
of the
talking
trailers
about,
we were
Max?
watching.
I mean, Aaron.
What?
What? Huh? I didn't say
Devin,
the
are you
wrong
bored?
person's name.
No.
All right, good. I'm glad. So
I can tell by your voice.
we're at a standstill. We're at an argumentative standstill. We clearly don't agree with each other, and that's just where we're gonna have to end this.
Cool. I accept your opinions.
I
I
honestly
have mine as well.
fairly well agree with Max. I'm just choosing to be fairly optimistic about it and hopeful.
And that's
Yes.
fine. But if you get disappointed, I'll be like, hi, I told you in your face.
No, but here's the thing.
That's a good way to keep friends. I hear
Here's the thing.
when you're annoying.
Sorry.
Here's the thing. I already somewhat have the same opinion as you because I'm like, yeah, after noticing the frames drop and
Yeah.
being already worried about the
Anyways.
graphics in the actual game and that stuff,
Yeah.
I'll still probably play it.
Yeah.
See what it's like.
Let's get back on. Well, we were technically,
No, we don't get to be on track.
So, any final thoughts on the trailer we watched before we move on to host topics?
I hope the
Max,
game has
wanna
more
rant?
depth than what it shows.
Okay,
That's it.
Matthew, Devin.
Honestly, yeah, I also, I'm hoping that it actually is a high quality game.
All right.
And I'd be interested to see them add something new into the battle mechanics. I'd just be surprised if they did. So, like, overall, I can hope that 1, it's an actually good game, and 2, maybe it'll have an actually good story for a Pokemon game.
All right.
Maybe. Apparently Black and White has a good story.
Yeah. So, and Devin.
And it's
Yep.
Any final thoughts on the trailer before we move on to host topics? All right.
No.
In that case, let us swiftly move on to host topics, the section of the show where we talk about topics that we host. Isn't it clever? Anybody got one?
I mean, the one I was going to talk about is already just a piece of news that we have, so I figure I'll wait until then.
All right, Matthew and Devin.
No.
Devin?
No.
Are you sure? Are you sure you don't have a host topic? Absolutely 100% sure you don't have a host topic.
No, but I'm 80% sure I don't have a host topic.
All right, so what was the host topic you wanted to bring up last week that you said you'd remember?
I remember that. I remember that. I don't remember what it was.
Well,
oh no. Oh
no.
We could look at the footage.
We don't have footage.
No, it wasn't recorded. I was.
Oh, right. It wasn't recorded. Right. That was the week we skipped.
We didn't have a podcast last week. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and say my host topic for the week, and maybe you'll remember it by the time I'm done expounding upon my topic. Now,
I can't remember it.
Now my host topic is more of just a discussion point than something. It's whatever. Like, well, host topics are always discussion points. Whatever. I want to talk about music, god damn it.
Yeah, music.
Gosh, consarn it. I want to talk about the good music and the good games. So, the week before last, when we actually had a recording, I mentioned that I had a host topic I thought of, but decided to keep it for next week, which is this week now, because we didn't have a podcast next week because we were running short on time the week before. You get it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You get it.
Yeah.
Which is soundtracks, specifically video game ones, and not only the effect they have on gameplay, but also just I want to fucking show some love to goddamn music, okay?
Yeah.
So, should I go first? That's the topic I've presented. You know.
I mean, do you want to go first? Do you want someone to talk about? Do we need to talk about like a certain soundtrack?
Well, no, I just want to talk about some so every game obviously has a soundtrack of some kind, and music plays a big part in games and just in media in general. And I want to talk about specifically the effects that music has on games, and what's the word? Not qualifies, but like a word.
What?
It's not qualifies, but what makes a good soundtrack. That's what I was trying to say. So you know.
Well, I mean, obviously, what makes a good soundtrack is something that is a soundtrack that really helps immerse you into the game and its world. But it all depends on the game as well.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Matthew's leaving when he's also a music person like me. Oh boy.
Hold it.
I mean, geez. If I were, I mean, it really just depends on the game itself. Because every game has a different feel to it, but I can guarantee that a lot of games wouldn't be half as great as they are if it wasn't for the soundtrack. Like Persona 5, that game is all about aesthetics and like the art style and everything like that. But what really sells that game is the music. Like if you've heard any of the music, you'll know that like, damn, like it's like, yeah, you're just doing simple turn-based combat, but instead of just having like the Pokemon music in the background where it's just like do 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 do, it's like it has like the best funky jazz you'll ever hear in your entire life. It just makes you feel cool.
So
even
I
while
know
pushing buttons.
I know you're all hopped up on Pokemon Rage, but we can.
No. I'm not saying Pokemon music is bad. I'm just saying that like
I would just.
I'm just saying that like
Pokemon
Persona 5
has a good soundtrack.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like here's the thing. I'm just saying that Persona 5 stands out among RPGs, turn-based RPGs, because usually RPGs is just like, yeah, fun adventure music all the time. And so like Final Fantasy and Pokemon is just like, it's just fun music most of the time. But like
I mean, yes,
like fun adventurous music.
Yes. I will actually cite Pokemon and Final Fantasy did a tremendous job creating their battle themes.
Yeah.
Because they never get annoying.
Yeah, I know. I get that.
They don't make you feel epic when you listen.
Yeah, they
to
don't.
Pokemon.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't make you feel.
Yeah,
epic.
but like usually, like those are usually reserved for special occasions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Pokemon and Final Fantasy are still, I guess, just fun games in general. They're meant to be fun. Where like Persona 5 is like, it is very linear. Okay, everyone's gone. Okay, I'll continue talking.
I can still hear you. I was just opening my door.
Okay, like Persona 5 is a game that's very like story driven and has a whole lot of stuff with its narrative, and when the story gets like really intense, you have to like really, like really give it your all in the game, basically, like using everything you have to your disposal. But it just kind of does this, but like even like the main battle theme is just so high above like any other RPG music I've really heard. And it's just like, and it's just a lot of fun. It makes you feel cool. And then when you get to the boss themes, it's like, all right, now let's really go down on this.
So
that's just Persona 5. There's a whole bunch of other games like that. Like like Breath of the Wild soundtrack is amazing. Even though it doesn't.
It's very good. It's also another aspect of soundtracks is dynamicism.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild soundtrack is entirely dynamic.
Yeah, that's what I love about it.
Like it will change the music in the background that plays every waking moment of the game will shift to what's the term? God damn it, why can't I make good the words?
Will shift to a different tone?
Yes, it will shift tonally to
your actions.
Yes.
Like I haven't listened to the soundtrack by itself for Breath of the Wild, but
like neither have I actually. I have listened. Well, I've listened to a couple tracks, but like
But like Breath of the Wild soundtrack, like it's very subtle in a lot of ways, because it's just because most of it is just like some slight piano in the background, like in the distance, just to kind of like just give you a sense of like give you a sense of like what's the word? Peace of mind. I think.
Also,
I don't know.
Expanse, not a different word than expanse. Grandeur.
Grandeur.
Grandeur. It makes everything feel big.
It makes it feel
like open. The map itself is very big, but with the music in the background, when you're just traversing the landscape, it makes it feel larger than life.
Right. And gosh, I'm losing my train of thought. But like, but most of the soundtrack in Breath of the Wild is very much just kind of just like background noise for the most part, I would say. But like,
there are some standout tracks.
Yeah, there are a few standout
specifically
tracks.
Whenever you're encountering with like a boss.
Like the boss music and the
divine or like any of the like memory soundtracks. It's like there are standout tracks in the game, but most of the soundtrack is environmental.
It's very environmental, and probably like my favorite thing is that like they use a lot of the motifs from the Zelda series, but don't actually like use the themes throughout the game.
Yeah.
It's just like some tracks they just use like the little motifs, like, hey, yeah, this is like this is Zelda and this is in this world and there are these elements to it, but this is an entirely new experience. That's what I really love about that soundtrack.
Works a lot. Also, just as like a fuck, why can't I think? I was trying to say, like this is still on topic, but like not Zelda related. It's the fact you may have noticed that all of the trailers we've seen this week have had very different but very distinct tracks in their series.
Yeah.
So for both Taxi Crazy or Taxi, sorry, I forgot the name of your game, Taxi something, and Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, both of them had very sort of like, I guess you would say
funk,
90s funk though.
Yeah.
like 90s funk.
I suppose. Yeah,
it's like it's very much like funk tracks, but like definitely 90s funk, because it has that like, because in the 90s you have like that too cool for school attitude, like spray paint, stuff like that. It's like it evokes that idea. And then
homework these days,
kind of, except Jet Set Radio and the Cyberfunk are not gonna be that stupid.
Yeah, no, I get that.
For Neon White, you had sort of a rock-esque background theme that didn't change throughout the whole trailer, but is probably one of the main themes of the game. If I had to take a wild guess, it usually kind of is. It's probably like what you hear if you're just like going around doing your general missions, which is pretty good. Then for Diablo, it's less.
It was very orchestral.
Yeah, it's very orchestral. It's like it's supposed to like invoke like feelings of grandeur, because this is a remake of a game a lot of people really like.
Yeah, very orchestral but dark, very Lord of the Rings-esque. So
yeah. Then you have NieR Replicant, which the song that was playing is basically sort of the main theme of the NieR series. And that's obviously just to invoke like, hey, this is NieR, get excited kind of thing. Hold on a second. It's also a very good song if you listen to it. The vocals are in a different, possibly made up language. Who knows?
No, they're in English.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think.
And then
maybe
for Legends of Arceus, you basically have the Breath of the Wild effect, where it's all very environmental, except for when you get to Arceus at the end, where it takes over. But for all of the gameplay that's shown, you have very environmental.
Very environmental.
Very
quiet. Sort of classical.
Yeah.
In a way.
Drink water. But yeah, what was I going to say? The
genre that like the soundtrack is in can really like enhance the games themselves in a lot of ways. Like a good game to mention is Spider-Man Miles Morales, where the original Spider-Man game for PS4 had very much an orchestral feel to it overall, but it was very dynamic. Like when you jump off a building and do a dive, all of a sudden like the music will like slowly rise as you get closer to the ground, and then when you swing, all of a sudden the music will just start and like play like a good track. Where Miles Morales, they take all the themes from the Spider-Man, the Spider-Man game on PS4, but then put in just a layer of like hip hop to it, to make it like Miles' story, to make it that like, no, this is his game. Like it's still Spider-Man, but it's like it's just got a completely new experience. I still haven't played the game. I really want to play that game. PS5, be available, please.
I think you can get Miles Morales on the PS4.
Yeah, but we want to get a PS5, so we're gonna get a PS5.
All right. But
another game.
What I was going to say is that a lot of we were talking about like obviously sometimes a soundtrack makes or breaks a game. Sometimes
like the games can still be great on their own without the soundtrack.
Sometimes really terrible games have absolutely fantastic soundtracks.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like Sonic 06, for instance.
Yeah.
That game's soundtrack is pretty top notch overall.
Sonic
the game is horrifyingly
Sonic Forces actually has a pretty good soundtrack.
Sonic Forces.
I played Sonic Forces. Okay,
I wouldn't call that game soundtrack good per se. It's butt rock.
It is butt rock.
Butt rock. It's enjoyable.
Yeah,
I have a soft spot for stupid butt rock, but like I don't know if I can call it good.
It's just that there's a lot of variety in that soundtrack too. Not all of it's good. There are some really bad ones, like the with the classic Sonic levels have really bad soundtracks in that game.
But the other thing, part of my thing, is that a lot of I feel like a lot of times you'll hear that a good soundtrack is the best soundtracks are ones you don't even notice at the time you're playing, because like this is just like a sort of general thing you'll hear a lot is like the best soundtracks are the ones that you don't notice because it's amplifying your experience, but you don't notice that they're there.
Right.
Obviously, it can be good to have just generally absolutely fantastic songs that you do notice for the sake of like, getting something across or just having a good time. Music.
I think it depends with me.
Yeah, but like because I listen to a lot of music. Like I'll substitute doing something important to listen. Like
Matthew, join in on the conversation. You're a music man.
A lot of times I'll just sit at my desk and listen to music while not doing anything else. Just listening to music because I like music that much.
You guys got anything to add in? Guys?
Music is easily the most important part of most movies. If a movie doesn't have good music, then
you are correct.
I wouldn't say it's the best. But I mean, for movies, I think music definitely
that's the thing. It's like
definitely can do a lot.
The idea is like a good soundtrack to a movie is something you don't notice. If a movie has a bad soundtrack, you will notice it.
And a movie with a bad soundtrack is more pernicious because it's harder to define what is a bad soundtrack. And so it's much easier when you're making a movie with a bad soundtrack to not notice it. But like if you have like bad acting or bad lensing, cameraing, cinematography,
bad cinematography,
then it's much more noticeable. Usually,
I would say probably for me, editing is probably the most important thing in a movie. Because if something like doesn't sound right or like something's cut way too soon, I'm like, oh my gosh, why?
The acting and editing.
Yeah, but I'm
this is a gaming podcast.
What's I mean, yeah. What about you, Matthew?
I don't really have much to say on music.
Are you
make music?
I know, but
you're the only other person I know that can really talk about motifs and stuff like that.
I just don't really have much to say about that. I don't play enough video games to really
still talk about music.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna send you like 5 game soundtracks for you to listen to.
Oh no.
Listen to Hades. Listen to Persona 5. Well, you already played Breath of the Wild.
I don't remember the music. I get far enough into the gameplay of that sort of thing that I forget.
I mean, yeah, me and Aaron were
other
saying
stuff
earlier,
going on. Also, I usually I think I had them. I think I actually usually have the music off in a lot of video games also.
Because he lives in a public house.
Well, actually, For some video
Well, not a
games, I
public
have it
house,
on.
but, like he lives.
For other video games, I
He
like
mainly
the
uses
music
the Switch in
being
handheld
off.
mode. He mainly uses the Switch in handheld mode.
No, that's not. No, actually, that's not true.
You've told me that before.
That was a while ago.
Well, how am I supposed to keep track of your experiences?
Once I had actually tried out the console mode, I didn't stop.
Why do you have the music turned off though?
Because I like the sound effects.
All right then.
Like the sword.
Oh, just
and
turn
that
the
sort of
music
thing.
down. You don't need to turn it off.
I mean, I do that with some things. I actually usually have Minecraft's music off.
Oh yeah, Minecraft makes sense because the music is super inconsistent.
Well,
But yeah,
Minecraft itself has a good soundtrack,
Yeah,
but
Minecraft itself has a good soundtrack. It's just
implementation
that
of said
But like,
soundtrack is weird. Like, if Minecraft only had the one song and it only came on every now and then, it would be better. But the fact that it has multiple songs that come on whenever they want to, it's bad.
right.
I can get
Like,
that.
here's the thing.
Like, if Minecraft only had the one very recognizable song that came on at like a predetermined expense, like, you know, maybe like every 2 or 3 Minecraft days, you'd be like, oh, it's that, listen to that, and then you would go away and then you'd be happy.
I wonder if there's a mod from Minecraft that makes the soundtrack a lot more dynamic. Because I would get that.
Yeah, I would use that.
Listen, there's mods for everything. Everything.
Here's the thing. Usually when I'm playing a video game, even if the soundtrack is on,
It's kind of just white noise to you.
yeah, I don't notice it.
Right.
It really depends on the
Because
game.
I'm into the game. If
really
it's a game that I like.
It depends on the game you play. Like
Well, no, go.
Well, yeah, there are a couple games that I've played where I love the soundtrack of, but that's because it works well with the game.
Hmm.
Like the Shining Force games, also you can't turn the soundtrack off. But
Well, yeah, those are what Sega Genesis games, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
but I also like the music.
Mhm.
Chinese.
Like for me, I've been playing
But-
a lot of like my whole life. I've been playing games with like very diverse soundtracks. Like I played Crash Bandicoot when I was younger, so
Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. You will never get tired of that ever.
I can't. In fact, I prefer the original soundtracks over the remakes.
Yeah,
I have to say.
I've heard people say that before.
Yeah, I've been playing like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, and then like
Oh man,
Mhm.
Spyro's soundtrack is freaking fantastic.
oh,
All
yeah.
done by one brilliant drummer.
And then in the recent years, games like in terms of like cinematic games too, like the music really enhances the experience, like games like Uncharted and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because during those big climactic action scenes, you do have like music that is actually pretty dynamic and is actually like timed to the events of what's
Oh,
happening
sure.
on screen.
Yeah.
But-
As
In that type of case, I would probably notice the music, but I don't
Mhm.
play
You don't play a lot of games, and that's fine.
too many video games anyway.
yeah, it's fine.
And out of the ones I do, if I don't have the music off,
Ooh,
I
that-
don't notice it after a certain amount of time.
Your voice and face are not
Like
sexual.
the same thing happens with anime is the interesting thing. When I watch an anime, I will not notice the music.
Okay, that's
A
a little
lot.
bit.
Sorry.
mhm.
I'm
That's
sorry.
a little bit. That's a I'm
Sorry.
I mean, I can agree. I mean,
No.
I,
Like it'll just phase out of my brain
Oh, it's back.
because it blends in for me. And I'm listening a lot to like the voice acting, and when I'm watching a subbed anime, I can barely focus on the actual voice acting because I have to read the subtitles. And
that's why I like watch the same shows like 3 times sometimes.
You know, it's weird. I think.
yeah, I have a hard
as
time
I got
rewatching
better-
or rereading
just
a lot
sort
of
like to
things.
play into this conversation. As I got progressively better and better reading subtitles, the voice acting sort of just. I'm not sure what it is, but it's almost like I read it and like obviously they're speaking a different language, but like it goes into like the back of my mind and sort of like
They kind of like
combines with the
combine
words
together.
I'm reading to make something dynamic.
Yeah.
That I'm
especially
listening to.
especially if like you have like a simple understanding of the language, like if you can like pick up
I
on like even
don't.
a word or two, like if you can pick up on like a word or two sometimes and like immediately like, okay, I know that this word is here, like your brain kind of figures it out. It's like, okay, I know this word is here,
but
and
also
then
since
this is what their emphasis is.
since Matthew brought up anime, I can also just, I mean, like whatever, I might as well, like, we're talking about music, it's not inherently a video game thing. In terms of anime soundtracks, there are two that come to mind when it comes to soundtracks that I listen to like over and over again, even without like the show itself, which is like One Piece and JoJo.
JoJo I can understand.
One Piece has a lot of really good tracks that they use over and over again, which is not inherently a bad thing because they are very good tracks. But
and it is a shonen series, so they only have like they need to have like tracks that they can
but
use.
like One Piece is really, really good at building hype, is the best word I can use. For
building hype and tension through it all.
Yeah, with
like I would say,
like, One Piece has a like. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody that hasn't seen One Piece, but like, there are a lot of really good moments that are completely like musical based. Like even from like that's just what it was in the manga as well. It's like there are moments in the show where like there are moments in the manga, which is obviously translated to the show, where if like singing happens, and like there's moments that are entirely musical based. That it's like this is completely enhanced by the anime for obvious reasons, but like they're so good. And for JoJo specifically, JoJo. Again, JoJo has like.
If it wasn't for the music, it wouldn't become the memes that it has been.
It would be still, but music specifically. Oh well, I guess if you're talking about Giorno's theme specifically, like that theme specifically has become a meme.
But then also roundabout and stuff like that. But I mean, like I think JoJo's music is like half of.
Well,
like,
the music for a lot
appealing.
of DVDs are like classic, like rock songs. So you have like Roundabout, Walk Like an Egyptian, Last Train Home, like a lot of Cherry Soda or whatever that song is called. I don't remember. Like, and I can't remember the names for the songs in part 5, but like there's a lot of like funk rock in that as well. But for the shows themselves, the soundtracks are like just very good. Like you notice they're pervasive. Like you know they're there.
Yeah.
Like throughout most of the series, you know the soundtrack is there. Like constantly, because it's just so over the top and just blatantly obvious.
Right.
And that really helps a lot as well, because they create very good songs for just when somebody gets a beat down.
Yeah, like because the way TV shows usually are is that like they have like they make like a select amount of themes, and it's like, okay, now the editors can use these themes whenever they want. But one show that one show that's really interesting to me is Transformers Prime.
Yeah.
If you know, because the way that was, the pilot was like 5 or 6 episodes, but the way they produced that is that they have the entire like really big pilot scored as a movie. So so the composer went in and like scored it as he would a movie, and then they made other tracks to use throughout the show as well.
Interesting.
So the soundtrack for that show is very interesting. But now we're getting away from gaming a lot.
We are very, very far away from video games. We're talking about television music.
Anime. Yeah, we're talking about television now.
But it's an anime podcast now.
To bring it back around to video games, I'm sorry those who don't care about anime, but we're bringing this back around to video games, and so like a lot of elements you'll find in a lot of different media sort of apply the same to video games
Yeah.
in terms of
It's
music.
just like games are also very different because they do have the dynamic soundtrack. So like instead of having predetermined places to put music in, it's like, all right, we need to put this music in, but we need to have it match up with the mechanics of the game and what's going on screen. And also, is this even the right track to even be playing here? There's a lot that goes into it.
There's also a lot of like, I think bosses are something that is wholly unique to video games, like entirely, and something that has been around since basically the dawn are boss fights. And music for boss fights are always there and present as you fight it, because boss fights are always supposed to be a test, an obstacle, and a test of a player's skill.
Right.
And the music for boss fights has always been very good throughout the years, even spanning back to like the original Mario Brothers on the NES. It's like all of the Bowser fights has a very like it's basic, but it's incredibly menacing, and it's basically just plays the same 3 notes over and over again, but it's very menacing and short, and
it's very different from like the regular Mario theme.
Yeah. But the I also enjoy how, well, not enjoy, but like the series is you wouldn't expect to have like rockin' soundtracks do most of the time. Like, let's talk about Kirby for a second and how Kirby has the best soundtrack of games.
Kirby's soundtracks are amazing. I don't care for the Kirby games, honestly, because I'm an idiot.
You're a basic brain. You're a monkey brain. There, I used one of your youth terms. Are you happy? Not talking about any
Kirby soundtracks are
you're at home. You sitting at home. Yes, Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby soundtracks are always amazing. Like,
it's just like, I feel like, go.
I have never listened to the Kirby soundtrack. I don't think. And I don't think I've ever played a Kirby game either.
You've never played a Kirby game. You haven't.
Okay, have you played Smash Bros? Do you know?
No, he hasn't.
I've touched a little, and I used to play an older Smash Bros with some friends at like a whole school get together.
Hold on.
So yeah, I played a little bit of Smash Bros.
You went to
Toby's. Yeah.
I don't remember you being there.
We all went to Toby's.
I just never
remember
being there.
Don't remember us being at Toby's.
I don't remember. I remember being at Toby's. I just don't remember Matthew being there.
Oh, that one's a meme. I didn't realize.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, I was there.
Okay.
I don't remember ever being good at Smash Brothers.
We played Brawl back then, which also has a good soundtrack, but it's mainly composed of soundtracks across the ages. So yeah, it's gotta be good. But Kirby music specifically, Kirby has a reputation for being about a cute little puffball that just floats around the screen, turning into killing an elder god. That's not even a joke or an exaggeration. There's actual like physical blood in a couple Kirby games. I'm not lying. Like, Kirby is ridiculously like okay, so let's take like there's literally just like guitar riffs in some of the tracks, just like hardcore guitar riffs. You know, in a game about a little pink puffball who just is just the best little guy in the whole world. Yeah. Yeah, Kirby games, like, yeah.
I mean, they're good games.
I can only gush about Kirby so much before I'm just saying the same things over and over again. I'm not doing anything. I'm just saying I like it at that point. But where was I? Soundtracks. What makes a good soundtrack? Soundtracks in video games. I guess I can talk about like something I wanted to bring up was the the video game New Super Mario Bros. U. Max probably is aware of it.
Yeah.
New Mario Bros. U is the first, or sorry, New Super Mario Bros. Wii rather.
Oh, the Wii one, yeah.
So New Super Mario Bros. Wii is the first in the New Super Mario Brothers series.
Mhm.
And when it came out, it was unique and interesting because it was a 4-player Mario game, and it was the first Mario platformer we'd had in ages, like actual 2D Mario platformer. The game itself has a very good Mario soundtrack. It's pretty, like, it uses a lot of classic themes and stuff throughout it, and like, it's fine. And then you get to, but the final battle boss against Bowser, the track that plays before his second phase is very good as well. But the track that plays during his final phase, where he's a giant version of himself slowly moving towards you across the screen, is top notch. It's or it's very orchestral in itself. Like, I don't know how to describe sound, okay? Sound
I
is
get
an
that.
abstract concept. How am I supposed to describe what it looks like?
Honestly, I do think the Mario series have always had like great music. Like, especially, I'm really interested to see Bowser's Fury soundtrack. Because now they have,
in the trailer itself, you basically did have like,
you had like Hades
metal
style like metal rock.
Like, you basically, like, there were death metal growls in the trailer.
In fact, I believe there was like a couple memes like comparing the game to Hades just because of the soundtrack.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess in all, we have discovered that through this conversation that soundtracks are very important to video games. A lot of games have very good soundtracks, and I don't know, what was the lesson here?
Listen to soundtracks.
Yeah, do that. Actually, as I was doing my finishing piece, I just remembered Dark Souls of all games. I actually haven't talked about Dark Souls yet this time, so I feel like I get a free pass this once. I want to talk about
Dark Souls talk.
The Dark Souls soundtrack. The soundtrack of Dark Souls is
very ambient.
A unique. Well, that's the thing. There is no music.
Oh, really?
Outside of the boss fights and two other areas in the entire game. The entire game has no music at all.
That's right.
It's entirely the sound of you swinging blades against horrifying beasts. The only places that have music outside of boss fights are Firelink Shrine, the Chamber of the Princess, and I think that's it.
And
I can't remember another area that has music. Possibly the fireplace in Anor Londo, possibly. I don't know. I don't remember. But like so that's the other thing. We were talking about music that's like very overt. All of the boss music in that game is extremely overt. They blast you in the face with how intense they are, which is
you're walking and you walk into a room and all of a sudden boss comes in.
Yeah, that's the point. It's trying to make you fear for your life,
right?
Which it does 9 times out of 10. It does very much do that. There are quieter pieces here and there, but most of the time it's very like you have choirs in the background of basically every song. Oh, Ash Lake has a soundtrack. There's a third place that isn't a boss area that has a piece of music. Ash Lake. Oh, and what's there? Never mind. There's like 4, maybe 5 in total. Never mind. I guess I was wrong.
It's cool.
But the boss, the main reason I want to bring up Dark Souls is because, like, none of you beaten Dark Souls. Damn it. Damn it.
It's cool, man. I'll play it eventually. I want to get my own PS4, but money
before then. No. You have, wait, don't you have it on PS4?
I don't have my own personal PS4, so like I can only play it
Oh, okay.
once every 2 weeks if I'm
You
lucky.
could technically get it on the Switch. I don't know how well it runs.
Could.
I don't know how well it runs on the Switch, but you could get it on the Switch.
Matthew, how well does it run on Switch?
Wait, Dark Souls?
Yeah.
I think it runs fine. I don't have anything to compare it to.
True.
Damn it.
But it seems like it runs fine.
Yeah.
I'll play it eventually. It's on the list.
Yeah, it's on the list.
Just four-
How big
four
is the
miles
list?
long.
Just walk to Urbana and I can show you how it runs.
You're doxing us, man.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't dox us.
We live in
A banana. We live inside
Kansas.
a banana.
Yes.
We live in
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just.
I'm in-
Yeah, I'm just.
We
I'm-
live
I'm
on the
like-
moon.
I'm like 3 miles from Brighton, so
Brighton.
Brighton.
yeah.
We
Brighton.
live in Liverpool.
That's why my internet's bad.
Yeah.
We live in the southern hemisphere.
Yeah.
No?
You
We
know,
live in the
Liverpool, South Africa.
Antarctic.
The southern
It is-
hemisphere.
It is simultaneously very cold and very hot. That's the only hint. I'll give you.
Simultaneous. So
We like to
anywhere
live
in the
upside
world.
down hemisphere.
Yes.
All right, so
Anyway.
we've gotten slightly off. What is
Slightly.
Slightly.
you say? So before I finish off my host topic, I just want to give my last remaining thoughts on Dark Souls before I move on. So, and don't worry, I'm not gonna go off, hopefully. So obviously I've already explained that each track is very overt in tone. It tries to make itself known to the player. Got distracted there for a second. The funny thing about that though is I personally find it like what it's listening to the songs themselves, they are good and they do good for a lot of tension. But while in gameplay, especially if you're new to Dark Souls and are like very nervous about a boss, I find that the music basically goes to the back of your head. It plays in the back of your mind. Like you barely notice, like it's very overt about how it's very overt, but it basically plays in the back of your mind because of how hard you're focusing on the boss.
Right.
Like you're focusing on the boss so hard that the music just plays in the back of your head and you almost don't notice it.
Right.
And that's basically the case for every major boss. Like there are some minor ones that are like less that, but that's basically the case for every major big boss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, and I guess, I mean, Dark Souls 2 kind of does the same thing. It has way more bosses and less good tracks than Dark Souls 1, but it basically does the same thing. You know,
Yeah,
I haven't played Dark Souls 3, so wouldn't know there. Haven't played Bloodborne either, so I wouldn't know. I think it does basically the same thing though.
Yeah.
Bloodborne anyways.
I think similar experience for me is Hades. Like Hades, like during like the main sections, it's like I notice the soundtrack quite a bit. But then like when it comes to like a boss fight, like I'm always like very focused on what's happening. So like I can't.
Yeah,
it does just kind of go to the back of your head.
You're focusing on the task at hand so much that you just don't hear the music, essentially. Right. And yes, and just one quick aside about Demon Souls specifically. Demon Souls is a unique exception to all the Souls games because its soundtrack is not big and bombastic. Pretty much every boss fight has sort of a lighter, like, to vaguely explain the soundtrack, all of the bosses in Demon Souls are not straightforward fights. You usually have to do some kind of strange tactic or notice something about the boss's pattern instead of just going head on to fight it. And that is reflected in the music. Specifically, Phalanx, the musical piece sort of goes sort of in an it starts kind of heavy. because you're like, oh my god, like it starts kind of heavy, as in, oh my god, what is that? It's coming right at me, help. And then it sort of goes into a more defensive kind of minor tone as you start to realize how to go about defeating this boss, because you realize, oh, this boss is incredibly like defensive. I need to get rid of all of its defenses before I can go head in. And then it finishes with a like bigger but slightly sadder score, as you're like as in to imply that you have found out how to beat this thing. Now you just have to do it.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, pretty much all the pieces don't follow that exact pattern, like, but they have that.
But they have like elements of that.
Yeah, so it's like the Lost Hero, for one. Like that piece is incredibly like quiet. Like it's quiet, it's slow. It's quiet and slow, and there's like very little going on. Because the boss is also, I don't mind spoiling Demon Souls, because it's an 11-year-old game that you could only play on the PS3 before the remake, and the remake basically completely rearranges all the music, so it's not really a spoiler at that point.
Interesting.
But the Lost Hero is blind, completely blind. So he cannot see you, and the music reflects that fact. He is constantly walking, searching for you. It's just a very light piece to imply that he doesn't know where you are, but he is very dangerous.
Interesting.
And I will stop there. I could literally gush about every single piece in that game. So yes, that was my host topic about music. All in all, we have learned that music is very important.
Yeah.
And very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, anybody else got a host topic before we move on to news?
Nope, we've been doing this for 2.5 hours. I think we're good.
Yeah, we're probably gonna. Listen, we didn't do one last week. I feel like doing an extra long one is fine.
I think we were on your host topic for
probably
almost
like
an hour.
It's a good topic then.
Is a good topic.
Yeah. So
here, I'll give every viewer out there a set list to listen to. Probably listen to Dark Souls and Demon Souls. And then listen to Hades, listen to Breath of the Wild, listen to Persona 5, and Little Nightmares is also pretty good.
Little Nightmares is also
Well,
very
Max, here's an idea.
Then
you can send me all of the links.
I will. I will send you all the links. I will do that.
Then go listen to Dirty and Beauty from Kirby and just have a ball.
Heck yeah.
Oh my goodness, my voice is. I should do voice exercises for these. So moving on to the news.
Yay! I'm gonna get angry again.
Yeah. Can I? I mean, is it the Pokemon or the Breath of the Wild? Sorry,
the Zelda one.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, kind of both, but
this article, the article itself isn't super duper important. It's just talking about Skyward Sword coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
Remake Skyward Sword coming to Switch. I'll read. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword is coming to Switch. Bradley Cutler, Legend of Zelda. It talks about like how it's like getting a second chance, or third if you count the eShop re-release.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. So this was revealed during the Nintendo Direct last week. So this is again a case of week-old news. But it's still very much worth talking about.
Yeah.
So yes, just to give a quick explanation, Skyward Sword is not only 10 years old this year, I believe. Yes, 10 years old this year.
Yeah, 10 years old.
It originally came out on the Wii and was heavily designed around motion controls. Basically, the entire game was designed around motion controls, which obviously the Wii was designed around as well. So like so for combat you would use the Wiimote.
Yeah, you use the Wiimote.
It isn't one-to-one sword swinging, but it is like you use it to swing the sword, and you use it for a lot of like other mechanics as well. via motion controls. And yeah, I mean, I guess it like, what am I saying?
Yeah, it is nice that it is getting a re-release. That it is getting a Switch remaster.
Yes. So that's the other thing I was gonna say. Breath of the Wild has been considered sort of the dark horse, or the like. A lot of people didn't like it.
Breath of
Not
the Wild?
specifically. Well, here's the thing. So this is something This is something that surprised me. So there's this sort of internet mentality that Breath of the Wild is bad. It's basically like think of it as like Breath of the Wild was super successful when it released. It actually also by the by, when Breath of the Wild like pre-orders ran out. Like so many people pre-ordered Breath of the Wild that they ran out.
Oh wow.
Like it met like I don't remember what was the exact article. Like basically Amazon like reached maximum amount of pre-orders for Breath of the Wild Skyward Sword.
Oh, Skyward Sword. Oh, okay.
Skyward Sword, not Breath of the Wild. Why do I keep saying
Breath?
Skyward Sword, this game that I'm talking about. I'm sorry I keep saying Breath of the Wild. It's on my mind recently. Also, there's a lot of aspects from Skyward Sword that go into Breath of the Wild anyways, like stamina, equipment, getting materials to upgrade weapons, stuff like that. The glide mechanic.
Wait, did that come from Skyward Sword?
Yeah, you have like a little, well, not like, it's more I mean, it God damn it. The words are just dodging my brain. What I was trying to say is that it's not as fleshed out, I guess is the word I'll use, because the words I was looking for was not available to me at the time. It basically, you get like this little sail thing in the game, and you can use it to stop your fall and glide a little bit. But it's not like the paraglider. Right. But it's the starting mechanics. Anyways, what I was trying to say is that there's basically like, it's this sort of general consensus that is only like the dislike for Skyward Sword is a lot of people don't like it because motion controls, or because I don't know, they just don't like the game. Like there's this sort of
it has this stigma around it for people not liking it.
Thank you. Fuck me. Why is that? I was trying to say that word for ages. What I was trying to say is that basically there's this stigmatization around Skyward Sword that sort of became the normal way to think about it over the years. It's like, even though Skyward Sword was super successful, this idea became so pervasive to so many people that it basically just became the normal way to think about the game. Which is what I was trying to express for like 3 minutes there. That's all I was trying to express. Anyways, Max, you want to get angry, so go for it.
The main reason I'm upset is like I'm glad.
Price tag.
What?
The $60 price tag.
Well, yeah, that, but also the quality of the port itself. It looks like a straight up port. They didn't do much to up to the graphics.
Well,
seems like
that's like, I've seen footage of the game itself. Like, it's cell shaded.
No, it's not. That is not cell shaded.
Well, it's watercolor as well.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing. It's not like Okami. Okami's graphics age greatly. So does that is watercolor, and that is watercolor.
Well, yes, you're correct. But also, like, it's Okami is like trying to emulate like old Japanese paintings.
Yeah, and then you have what is it? Wind Waker is cell shaded, and that aged greatly. They didn't do anything for this remaster. It literally looks like they just up-resed it and smoothed out a little bit of things. But like, there is still.
Wait, when is this coming out? This was the announcement trailer. Hold on a second. Let me. When is this coming out? It's coming out. Let's just go to the end of this. Okay, yeah, July 16th is when.
Right, because I really hope they do more, because right now the quality of like the remaster doesn't look that great. I assume that a lot of that was meant to. A lot of time has been put into developing the motion controls and all that.
Yeah, that's the thing. So for a long time, for a long time, I'd always said that it would be impossible to remake Skyward Sword
for a home console, except for the Switch, because the Switch is the perfect way to do it.
So that's the thing. It's like the Switch has motion controls. Actually, it's not motion controls. Well, it is motion controls, but it's gyroscopic controls.
Yeah, it's gyroscopic controls. Yeah,
which is way better than general motion controls.
Yeah, but the main thing that I'm really upset about is the $60 price tag, because we got the Mario 3D what is it? Mario 3D All Stars? Is that what it's
Mario
called?
3D All
Yeah. Which had
so we've gotten this, which is whatever. They might add new content. We don't know the full details of this. It was only shown during the
the thing is, like, Mario 3D All Stars is a N64 game, a GameCube game, and a Wii game, all for a $160 price tag.
Yeah.
And those were like fully remastered, and they were like fully implemented into the Switch's control system. Like even Mario Galaxy, which is still had like motion controls and stuff like that, was ported to Switch, and it seemed to be pretty well. We are only getting one Wii game for $60.
Yeah,
and of course, like Zelda is a bit more complicated.
I do get your thing against it.
Yeah,
like, yes,
yeah, and Zelda is a more complicatedly designed game series, so there's a lot more that needs to go into a port.
Yeah. Also, actually, the other thing is, so the biggest thing about this remake is the fact that you can play it without motion controls.
Right. Yeah.
Because they mapped all of the things that would be motion controls to
the right stick.
The right stick.
Yeah. So I understand that, but does it need to be $60 though?
Well,
that's the thing. Because we are getting a Wii game from 10 years ago. Not really graphically improved.
I mean, yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, well, actually,
like if you look at the trailer, the graphics are like.
I'm wrong, but wasn't Wind Waker also $60 when it released?
I don't know about Wind Waker. But, no, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess was also in a combo pack though on Wii U. They weren't?
No, they were released separately. They were released like a good 2 years apart from each other.
I don't know. I don't remember. I wasn't.
I need to check this out now.
Okay.
This is important.
But yeah, I mean, like if Wind Waker and Twilight Princess were also $60, and like, yeah, that's I don't like that. But I thought I assumed that they were in a combo pack at one point.
HD price on release. Okay, this is just something I need to know this.
Yeah.
Okay, so Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD launch. No, that's a suggested retail price. That's not what I want. I guess this? No, this isn't it. I mean, it says here that the Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD launches blah blah. At a suggested retail
$50. It was $50 when Wind Waker came out for $50.
That was a suggested retail price, though. Was that the actual price it came out for?
I believe so.
All right. What was Twilight Princess then? I'm sorry, we're being boring.
Okay, suggested. Why does it say 4,000? What?
No, hold on. Wait, what are you two?
Okay, well, Twilight Princess, I don't know. I can't find it info on that
Whatever.
right away.
That doesn't matter. Point is
$60 on the Wii U eShop.
all right, so it's still the same then.
All right, yeah, still $60.
So okay, so anyways, that doesn't matter. I'm sorry I just wasted like 3 minutes of time.
It's
But the one thing I will say is that I've gotten quite angry over this the past like week or so. I'm not angry at the release. I'm just angry at people. And it's like just reading through comments and stuff, it's like, man, people really for some reason want Wind Waker and Twilight Princess remasters on the Switch, even though they exist.
Well, the thing is that they only exist on the Wii U, and no one bought the Wii U. I want
an excuse.
Like, here's the thing.
Because
yeah, I know, but here's the thing. Like, I do want a remaster of Wind Waker because I haven't gotten a chance to play Wind Waker.
Come over to my house. I'll make you play it.
I don't like my. I think my brother owns a GameCube and we have a Wii, but I just
listen, man. I'm just saying the HD port.
But the thing is, the HD ports.
When the HD port of Wind Waker came out, I felt it was completely unnecessary. Aside from porting it to a slightly more successful,
it's to make it more accessible.
It looks the fucking same. The only difference is the bloom.
Well, but the thing is, that's because Wind Waker can age. Wind Waker's graphics can age better because it is cel shaded. Like Skyward Sword, the way its graphics are for the way the Wii is, and like the way the art style is, just it doesn't age all that well.
Yeah,
it doesn't look good. Where Wind Waker can sort of kind of be in this timeless state.
Anyways, I guess I don't know.
And also, it would be really easy to port Wind Waker and what was it, Twilight Princess to Switch? Because they already have it on Wii U.
Yeah. So, man, when I was going into talking about this point, I thought I'd have a lot to say about it, but then I just realized, like, man, I just don't have nothing to say.
Yeah, there's not much to say. I'm glad it's getting a remaster. I just wish that they did the graphics look better.
Devin and Matthew, I know you don't care, but what about you guys? What do you think? We only have just as like an addendum. We only have whatever. We'll get through it. We only have 2 other pieces of news, and hopefully we'll get through those someday quickly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cool. All right.
Matthew?
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's that was week-old news that everybody has already complained about. But whatever. Our next piece of news for today is just an article about Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Yay.
It's basically the same thing that the other article we just looked at was. It's just talking about their releases. Once again, I mainly we ended up talking about it during
we ended it earlier.
So, we ended up talking about these games during the Arceus session, so there's not much to talk about now. But I was probably gonna get angry at people again for this because I was getting angry. Like, whatever. The art style, the one major thing is the art style. A lot of people don't super gel with it, but that, I don't know. It's whatever. People have been asking for these games a long time, though.
I'm just going to say that the Switch, it can do some great graphics, just that Pokemon hasn't been really taking advantage of that all that much.
Yeah. All right. So we'll just swiftly move on from both of those to our last piece of news today. Now, we can get through this fast. So our last piece
there's not a whole lot.
Is less news and more just like I wanted to cover the PlayStation
State of Play.
which is I just wanted to go through everything they announced during that. I'll go through it quick, and we'll just discuss some minor things as we go. So, first of all, during the State of Play, by the by, State of Play is basically the same as a Nintendo Direct. It's the Sony version of just showing off games and stuff that's coming up. So the first thing that happened, Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, is getting some PlayStation 5 exclusive upgrades when it launches on March 12th.
Yeah.
This includes faster loading times, dual sense features like haptic and active trigger usage, and enhanced 3D audio, whatever that means.
It's because
Transfer
the
saves. You can also transfer saves from PS4 to PS5.
Yeah.
There's not much to say about that.
It's
outside of, I will give one thing. It's About Time. You know what? Never mind. That's too big of a discussion topic. I can't.
You don't like it?
No, I think it's fine. It's just it's a 40-hour game and a 60-hour game. It's a
No, I get
40
that.
hours
I get that.
of you like there's
I know the situation.
Anyways, the next thing they we're talking about was Returnal, the third-person roguelike from the makers of Resurrected, is coming to PlayStation 5 on April 30th.
Yeah, that game actually looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, Returnal I'm actually quite interested in because
Yeah,
it looks super interesting.
Yeah, like I really want to play that
Returnal looks very interesting. Just as a quick description, since I'm not showing anything, Returnal is a game that was shown during the PS5 press conference. It's basically
it's a sci-fi third-person shooter roguelike.
Yeah, and every time you die or something happens, like you're like stuck in a time loop.
Yeah,
you're stuck in a time loop.
And every time you die, the planet changes for some reason.
You're stuck in a time loop on this planet, and every time you die, something changes, and you like go back to the beginning.
Right.
The next thing they were talking about was Knockout City, which was something that Nintendo talked about in their Direct. Knockout City looks kind of average at best, but god damn, is its marketing weird.
I mean, hey, it to me it looks like Ninjala but better.
I mean, actually, is this the thing they showed during the? No, it isn't. Okay, so I want to talk about this game's weird ass marketing for a second. The first trailer we saw of this game was during the Nintendo Direct, and it opened on a bunch of random characters giving like an interview, like sitting in a chair against a green screen giving like a random interview, and then it cuts to the gameplay, which is basically just dodgeball. It's basically like enhanced dodgeball. That's basically the game. But like none of these, like all these characters are playing the game. They're not in the game. You have like a fantasy orc, like a little pixelated 2D princess, an unused CSGO model, some random lady, a football player. Like all of these characters are just in the trailer. Like they're animated characters. They're not real people. They're in the trailer playing the game. They're not in the game. They're not a part of the game. What is this marketing?
That is very interesting to hear.
So confusing.
It's because to my knowledge, it's an indie dev making this. So I don't know why they would go through that much trouble to have marketing like that.
I don't understand, man. It's so weird. Like, just look up the trailer. It's like I'm pretty sure it's on Nintendo's main channel. They posted all of their Direct stuff, but like the game is called Knockout City. It's basically just dodgeball. But the first trailer we saw for this was so fucking weird. Anyways, that's my mini rant about Knockout City done. The next game they showed was Sifu, which is a game I have never heard of.
There's the
next game
trailer.
from Slowclap, the team behind Absolver. Oh, okay. Brawling action plans release PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 sometime this year.
Martial arts.
No, I haven't seen anything about this game, but it does look fairly interesting.
Yeah.
It's basically, I mean, like there's this whole like it's kind of like it's called a brawler.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's like a brawler. It's like your old classic hallway brawlers. Anyways, there's not much to say about that because I just don't know anything about it. Next up, we have Solar Ash, which is from the developers of Hyperlight Drifter, which I have not personally played, but goddamn does this game look amazing.
Yes, it does.
So yeah, Solar Ash was first revealed in 2019. It's finally come out 2021 by the creators of Hyperlight Drifter. It will be available for both PlayStation 4 and 5. Good for you, Max. PlayStation 4 and 5. Yeah, just to like the link to the article is in the Discord. If you want to, it has all the trailers for these games, so you can look at them independently whenever you feel like it. But Solar Ash's art style looks crazy.
Yeah,
it's like a surrealist drawing come to life.
Yeah, I dig it.
But yeah, Solar Ash looks really cool. That's all I have to say about that. The next thing that's right. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, which I contemplated putting in the trailers for this week, but decided against it. We got our first gameplay footage of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. This new animatronic looks great, apparently. I think I did see this trailer. Looks interesting.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I'm really interested to see where this franchise is gonna go because they had the VR game.
Yeah, it's by the same guys that did the VR game. It's developed by the same team that did the VR game.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because they had the VR game, which looks pretty good, and then now they recently ported all the games to Switch, even the VR game. But like not VR mode, I don't think.
Yeah, I know. FNAF is a horror series. Matthew, you don't care about it. Devin, you've probably only seen bits and pieces here and there because it was a phenomenon on YouTube for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it does look very interesting, and I don't know. I guess this would technically be the first time we have an actual human killer.
Yeah.
And voice acting
like that.
and human faces, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, that's that. Next, we have Oddworld Soulstorm, which is the newest game in the Oddworld series. Oddworld Soulstorm will be free on PlayStation 5 for PlayStation Plus subscribers when it launches April 6th. So if you have a PS5, I hope you're ready to play another lawn lanning masterpiece. Soulstorm looks really cool, actually. It looks like it'll do something very... Oh, okay, so none of you know what Oddworld is.
I have some idea, but
okay, so
we don't need to get into
it. Whatever. Yeah, it looks cool enough. Oddworld is interesting. It is an interesting series.
Yeah.
Overall. So yeah, the next thing we have is Kenna Bridge of Spirits, which the highly anticipated Kenna Bridge of Spirits is finally coming out on August 21st.
I am so excited.
Previously scheduled for March 2020 release. Okay, so Kenna Bridge of Spirits looked really, really cool when I first saw it. I'm quite excited for this game as well.
Yeah.
Art style wise, it looks like a Pixar.
Because the art style is very much like a 3D animated Disney movie come to life, but it's like that consistently throughout the game, which
It looks really good.
It looks amazing. In the gameplay, it seems like simple, like third-person action.
Yeah, gameplay-wise, it looks cool. Yeah, that's, I guess, all yeah, it looks cool. Excited for that. Coming August 22nd for PS5. Most likely just PS5. Oh, no, it says PS4 as well.
I want more artistic games like that.
Next,
less realism.
Yeah. Well, this is the year of realism, if you haven't noticed. Next, we have Deathloop.
Still didn't say a single thing about it.
Deathloop is still a thing. Here's some more gameplay ahead of its May 21st release. So,
still didn't really give anything about the mechanics or anything. I'm like, I need to know how the mechanics work before I play the game. And none of the trailers say what the mechanics look like.
Yeah, this is a gameplay trailer for it.
It's literally it's basically the same as the last trailer they had.
Yeah, Deathloop still looks interesting. I mean, it's Bethesda, right?
It's not developed by Bethesda.
It's
published by
Bethesda Softworks, though. I mean, obviously, it's not developed by them personally. If it was, we wouldn't see it for another 3 years, and it would be buggier.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a Deathloop. We've been seeing bits and pieces throughout the year. It looks pretty interesting, but
just tell me how the main mechanic works.
We
and
still
then
don't know that much about it.
You respawn.
Yeah.
What more is there to it?
Next,
it's just like Minecraft.
It's just like Minecraft.
Just a 3D Minecraft.
The next we have the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Is getting a PlayStation 5 update called Intergrad. Features some new content, including the first playable appearance of Yuffie Kisagari in these new games.
Mm-hmm.
Own the remake on PlayStation 4. You get Intergrade for free, and it even includes save data transfer through the previous game. You'll be able to hop back into one of last year's best adventures with improved graphics, loading times on June 10th.
Yeah. In fact, have you seen like the graphics comparisons between the PS4 and PS5 versions?
I have not.
They showed it in the trailer, I think, but like it looks amazing. Like Final Fantasy VII, like when that came out, I was like, man, graphically that game looks really good. And then you see the PS5 comparison, it's like, holy shit! Like what the hell?
Yeah. But yes, that is the end of the article. That's okay. So that's everything that PlayStation announced during State of Play. So yeah, I just wanted to announce all that stuff because there was so much news this week.
There was.
I'm actually kind of glad that we didn't do one last week because there's so much news, so much stuff happened within the week that preceded this one.
Mm-hmm.
Like so much stuff that needed to be talked about. But yes, anything else to comment on?
I should play Final Fantasy VII at some point, but hey.
Yeah. You get Intergrad for free if you have a PS4 copy of it, by the by.
Yeah, it's probably the best way to go.
Yeah. Matthew, Devin?
Port a PS5 version of Final Fantasy VII onto your computer. Through legal methods.
I don't
Final Fantasy VII Remake is on PC, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so. I'll double check.
It might be at some point though. Anyways, right now Monster Hunter Rise is coming to PC at some point as well. I saw that Monster Hunter Rise is coming to PC.
Okay. That is true.
As well.
Final Fantasy VII Remake is only on PS4.
All right, that is all the news this week, which means after exactly pretty much 3 hours, give or take, a little less than 3 hours, we can finally move on to shameless self-promotion. Yes, that's all the news this week. So let's swiftly move on to the shameless self-promotion bit of our show, where we talk about the things we want to shamelessly promote. And it's also like the end of the show. God damn it, why am I so bad at this? But yeah, fucking Matthew, what do you what do you have coming up this week? Where can people find you, and is any of your stuff worth existing? Words.
We can't hear you.
Oh, yeah,
I said you cut out. You were saying who you were talking to. Who are you talking to?
You. Oh, good. I'm glad.
Okay.
Matthew, what do you have coming up this week, and where can people find you and the stuff you have coming up this week?
Well, you can find me at Mystical Meanderings. I might be making another channel.
Okay.
It's for gaming content specifically, and that sort of production, so that I don't have a bunch of music on Mystical Meanderings and then gaming stuff.
All right.
Because, I mean, yeah, ignoring the fact that there's a decent D session up there, let's ignore that. But
I mean, you can move that whenever you feel like it.
Yeah. But
wait, do we know
that way I can have Mystical Meanderings as music and a different channel as gaming.
All right.
Anyway, on a channel, probably at first Mystical Meanderings, unless I figure out branding ahead of time. I mean, before then.
I mean, whatever.
I will, once I can get myself to listen to an 18-minute video of myself talking again.
I listen to these all the time. Listen, you just have to get used to yourself talking.
You'll get used to it, man. You'll get used to it.
I find
kind of hate my voice on recording, though.
Gotta get over.
Anyways, Matthew, what do you have coming up this week? Answer my goddamn question.
I don't know if it'll be up this week.
All right, in the future.
But yes, in the future, I will have the first episode of Last Life up, which was supposed to be out a bit ago, but editing and review and needing to do some re-edit stuff to make it less confusing and jarring.
Okay.
And that'll be up eventually.
Good. And where can people find you?
At Mystical Meanderings on YouTube.
Right. Cool. You also technically have a Twitter, but you don't use it.
I exist there.
All right. Cool.
Yeah,
Why was that weird and hard for you to do?
I don't know.
Devin, what do
It's
you
supposed to
have
be
coming
Shane.
up this week, and where can people find you?
With self-promotion.
I have a Sabre on the Indiana Jones of the 1800s.
Ooh.
Right.
And that can be found on the So I've Been Reading an Encyclopedia channel, and that is the whole name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very searchable.
Yeah, very searchable. You got to know how to spell encyclopedia, so it like cuts
You
off.
could
the
just
low
change it to Sabre.
low intelligence, the low spelling people. It's not intelligence. Knowing how to spell isn't intelligence. It cuts off the uneducated masses. Unfortunately, it also cuts off myself.
Calling me out.
Probably within the next week. It's surprisingly easy to edit.
All right.
So,
yeah.
Anything else on your 7 other channels?
I'll probably cut out something from one of my Minecraft recordings and put that onto Blingdon.
Cool. Good to know.
I have there's a sketch that I wrote down. And I was super excited about it. And I was gonna totally record it, and then I lost the notebook that it was written in, and now I'm sad.
Welp.
Yeah. It's fine though.
Good hopes on you finding it. And all that. Yeah, you don't have a Twitter because you're a smart individual.
Happy Hangouts. That's my Twitter.
Wait, you do have a Twitter?
It's sort of.
All right, so it doesn't exist. Yeah, so that's it for you.
Yeah.
All right, Max, what do you have coming up this week, and where can people find it? And you?
You can find me on Dylan Cracker on YouTube and on Twitter. I have my siblings yelling in the background. Yeah. You can find me on YouTube and Twitter at Dylan Cracker. I might have something this week. I don't know yet. Who it doesn't matter really. Taking a bit of a break.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you say your Twitter?
Yeah, Dilly_Cracker.
Cool. Yeah, that means I have to go now. I'm terrible at introducing myself. Hello there. I have things coming never. I will continue. As for me, I will continue to be found on this channel hosting this podcast as the huge. I can also be found in a D&D recorded D&D campaign that will be released whenever it is released because I'm not in charge of it. I am in that with Matthew and Devin. Outside of that, I did have a few plans for videos, and hell, if you'd watched the last episode, you probably know what I'm talking about. But I never got around to it because I'm lazy. So don't expect anything too decent in the future except for the podcasts. There's a phone going off in the background. It's fine. But yes, outside of the podcast, there might be another video in the future, but don't get your hopes up. I have a lot of nothing to do. You know, I have so much nothing to do, and I gotta get it done, you know? I gotta get all that nothing done. But anyways, oh yeah, you can also find me at Gaming the Discussion on Twitter, where I'll post or I'll retweet news and random stuff I find interesting. I haven't even made an official tweet. I also post when the episode goes live, but you know, whatever. That's all. You know, I've done this like 12 times. You should know at this point. Yes. I say too much, man. Sorry, I say so much. Yes, that's the end of the show. The end of the podcast, end of the show, whatever you want to call it. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good shit, whatever. You know what? Like if you like, dislike if you like. Subscribe if you like, and hit the bell if you like. So if you like anything, just care about it a small amount. Yes, that's it for this. Thank you and good night. Where's the button? Fuck. Is it this one? Yes, this one. Thank you and good night.